Ever since I was a foal, my fathers and the centaurs of Sotiri would tell me stories about the stars, that they were magic and made from the gods who made the gods, the elders, beings of great wisdom, ingenuity, and power. They were considered fairy tales, myths, that they didn't exist, or, if they did, they were long, long gone. But I always wanted to hear about them and learn more anyway, even into adulthood. It was a desire that filled my whole being, something I needed, like how the sea needs the moon. I never believed for a second I would see an elder shard, let alone hold one, but I did. Its power filled me with strength and skill, flooding every part of mine and my companions' beings as we killed a god. We killed a god. Pirate Queen, Sea Hag, the mother of krakens, the great unbeheld, Eula Saltsmile. But the power was fleeting, temporary. It was gone as soon as it arrived, and once again I felt empty. But this time, I realized I was empty, that something was missing, that I was lost. Now I know and recognize that I was just foam drifting on the waves, a yearning that I had my whole life that I never knew about returned, and with it, a voice, calling, one whose words I cannot hear, nor am I able to respond to, no matter how hard I try.
Hey! Hi! I don't have time for this. No offense, very busy. Hand me that red flask. The one on the left. Your other left. Oh, it's Winnie, sea scavenger extraordinaire. Shouldn't she be scavenging? Yes, I should. But no, there's things out there. Star things. Powerful things. World-changing things that need to be investigated. There's something... Jeffrey, don't eat that. Something I know I knew. There's so much I don't remember, don't know. I have to relearn it, but how? So, I'm here, experimenting, trying not to set the ship on fire. I don't even know what I'm looking for, exactly. Can a star be created? Can you get close to making a star? How do you reverse engineer the biggest magical object you've ever come across when you don't even have it anymore? See, I'm really good at the questions, but all I'm finding so far are more of them and no answers. Well, and a potion that makes you, really strong. That's not what I wanted. Hey, do you... No, Jeffrey, don't eat that!
After so many years under Eula's thumb and having my whole life determined for me, being told what was right and what was wrong, having no one else but her, I'm finally free. Or so I thought. It was never redemption that I yearned for. No, someone like me could never do enough to make up for all the bad I've done in the name of a fake idol. All I've ever wanted was to be desired, and in my search for it, I betrayed the one who made me. I betrayed her for the thing that she feared most, and I tore her and her kingdom down. Now, it's all I can feel. It's hunger, a constant reminder of what lurks just below the surface. Its name occurs across my skin, ever present, ever threatening. I led it here. I fed it power, and it wants more. It craves the power that only the gods wield, and it will destroy me to get it. So, I'll just have to destroy it first.
Everyone lives their lives bound by what they accept as correct and true. That is how they define their reality. But what does it mean to be correct or true? those are merely vague concepts. Their reality may be all a mirage. I was an arbiter of a zealot Triton tribe, the Nalos. I was true to my traditions until I found my reality was a mirage, an illusion to subjugate my people and gain power for an evil demigod. Now I have been touched by darkness and broken by a false oath. Tell me where I should go now. To the left, where nothing is right, or to the right, where nothing is left? I turn to the shadow, for that is the only place for a monster like me. I am the ghost of the Tritons. I am the darkness of the Nalos. I am the unholy warrior of the seas. I am the Shadow Knight, Proximus.
Waves crash on the beach of an endless sea. In them you hear a voice, a beckoning lure you have heard so many times before. It is the song of the horizon. She calls to you. She sings of endless wonders and untold horrors, of golden promises and dire warnings, and you know her song. It has always been there. Listen, can you hear it? The wind is in your favor, the tide is rising, the sea is yours for the taking, and your ship awaits. Fair winds and following seas, brave mariner. May fortune find you when the horizon calls.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Horizon's Call. We're super excited to have you here. Welcome to the Sword and Key channel. God, where do I even start? I'm stuttering over like 3 different thoughts. We're gonna jump into some high seas adventures. We have ship-to-ship combat that we kind of left off with at the end of last session, so we're gonna jump back into that. We're gonna recap. But before all that, channel news and other things and all the stuff that I typically say that I literally typed out and put in a document so that I wouldn't forget what to say. What are some of the things that I forgot? Yes, my name is Derek Sword. Sword is my real last name. Yes, it's awesome. No, you can't have it. I am your GM for this game. I am your guiding compass as we navigate these treacherous seas of the world of Damaris, the world of Horizon's Call. So typically I let these people say a little bit about themselves. I am going to do that. I'm not going to completely ignore that. But I did want to address a couple of things because if you are even tangentially aware of some of the circles that we travel in the online TTRPG community, it's been a rough week for some folks. Especially us as a new channel, we just want to address a couple of things. We here at Sword and Key absolutely do value diversity of all kinds. We respect all voices, and we really try to uplift all voices. It is a major priority of ours, and it continues to be a priority as we move forward and as we cast more and more games. You know, we really only have one game right now, Horizon's Call. More games will be coming out, and that is always a priority as we move forward, is to cast and uplift diverse voices on our channel. So definitely, when it comes to casting and those sorts of things, we highly encourage everyone to apply. You know, there's always going to be space for somebody, but our big priority here at Sword and Key is telling stories. We're not here to turn a profit in any way. If that happens, that's great that we can actually pay stuff off and pay our players. That is not yet the case, just to be upfront about that. And to address this earlier, and also I will address this when we hit break and at the end as well. If you do want to support our players, we actually use pally.gg, which is a great resource that allows any donations that you make to Pally to be evenly distributed throughout the cast. So we highly encourage you to do that instead of going through Twitch. If you go through Twitch, that's fine. It supports the channel. We appreciate it nonetheless. But Pally evenly distributes and makes it a lot easier for you to show how much you appreciate these players, these people for what they do, for the immense amount of performance and energy that they put into this game and these characters. So absolutely, subscriptions, all that, we absolutely appreciate that. But Pally also doesn't take as big of a cut as Twitch, so there's that too. But definitely, as you donate through Pally, through Twitch, regardless, you can influence the course of this show. Just to address this right up at the top. So if you do the equivalence of $5, that's also a subscription. You can add advantages. It goes on from there for crits. You can even get up to a black spot, which is, I think, the equivalence of $30, and that introduces a complication in the game. Things like certain players' characters becoming wereshark, or at least getting bitten by weresharks. They haven't become one just yet. So things like that can happen. If we hit Hype Train, or I'll try to find an equivalence to Pally for a sea shanty. We'll say that, actually, I think I said this last time. If we get a black spot, I will also sing a sea shanty at break. It seems only fair to balance that out. That all said, we know stuff is tough right now. We're getting towards the holidays. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. If you ever have any questions about anything with our channel, we are always open. You can always check out our Twitch, our Twitter while it still exists. It's Sword and Key with underscores between the 3 words, and you can always reach out to us there. We have email and everything else. I did want to address, we are building a Discord right now. It is not up and live yet, as we did want to have the most diverse forces that we could have as far as moderators and a leadership team. And so far, it is rather small between Eva and I and a couple other trusted folks. And we want to kind of build that so that Eva and I can also hear from people with other life experiences, and they can help us to build something that we wouldn't otherwise have the insight for. So just a heads up on that. We will let you know when the Discord is live, and everyone is, of course, welcome to that. Elle has a question. How are y'all so awesome? I'm sorry, Elle. That is very private information. I can't believe you asked that. But I would also give a cordial know you. Yes, thank you, Mayor. I know you. I don't think we got anything else in chat, but this is actually a time when I have chat up. So it's also my 24-month anniversary. So there's that. 2 years. What's up, folks? Okay, so
I just have to say, you are not allowed to give yourself a GM advantage. I feel like that has to be the rule.
I don't need it. I've already done enough. I grant you all as GM a group advantage. There you are. It is yours. Do with it as you will.
So we're at 2 group advantages.
Yes.
2 group advantages.
I'm keeping track.
So we might need those this
Yeah.
session.
I know.
Yeah, we have what, 50 hit points in the ship?
Oh, Lord.
It took some hits. Just saying. Okay. I think that's everything. So, now that we've gotten most of the business out of the way, I'm going to have these lovely people tell you a little bit more about themselves, the characters that they are playing. So, Mare, if you don't mind starting us out.
Hi, I'm Mare. You can find me on Twitter for as long as it exists at Archmage of Dice. Otherwise, you can find me on Tumblr at the same name. It's just not active. I play your amazing Soul Knight rogue Acacia, who is Lorge, and not in charge, but she might charge.
I like that. Lord's not in charge, but still might charge. Yeah, no, I like that. That's good. Mikyl.
Hi, fam. I'm Mikyl. He, him pronouns. I am playing Proximus Shadow Knight, your Triton Oathbreaker Paladin Shadow Sorcerer. I practiced that because I messed it up last week. So bad.
That's good. Hey, no, it's fine. Nobody even remembers that. Kaila.
Extremely reminder that Mikyl does all of our art, and it's fantastic, and we love him for it.
Yes, thank you.
You best.
Hi, hello, my name is Kaila, she, her pronouns. I play our murder mermaid, Scarlet Shores.
You sure do. Yes, just to reiterate, because I forgot to say it this time, Michael, because I'm adding flames to the ship that you're fighting. You set it on fire a lot. Michael does do all of our art, does do all of the art that you see next to the character frames there. Michael's phenomenal. Definitely check him out. We absolutely appreciate all the work that he does. And lastly, Eva.
I'm muted. I am constantly fighting with Stream Deck, apparently. I am playing your Sea Elf, Alchemical Artificer, Weenie. And we were going home until we ran into a situation that required Derek adding flames to a ship. So that's cool. That's it for me.
It is cool. You're right. It is cool. So I'm also seeing, how hard would it be to try to capsize the ship? Oh, God's sakes. Let me run some numbers.
It's a valid question, Derek.
My deepest fear, pun intended, is somehow you're going to enlarge Acacia, give her water walk, and then I'm going to have to deal with a goddamn kaiju centaur running across the waves of my planet. So
does anyone have large or water walk?
Yeah,
I think I can take water walk.
I think you and Kaila can, Christian.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look.
I unfortunately don't have it though.
You know what?
I don't have it right now either.
Exist for a reason.
Yeah, they get so soggy in a water world though. Okay. Thank you all for those wonderful ideas.
I do have control water though.
Yeah, I have shape water right now.
Surf me. Surf me.
She's like a large Iceman just sliding across iced water. We could do it with our powers combined.
Michael,
we can drive
Captain Planet.
Crazy.
Please. Earth, wind, fire, chaos. Great.
Oh, hype trade.
Oh, you have another advantage, Derek, from L.
Oh, L, I appreciate it. Thank you. I will use it to hurt them very badly. So yes, Michael, I believe you have the recap for us.
Oh, right. Yes. The last time we met our horizon-hopping heroes, we found ourselves on the open sea. The Redemption towing 5 smaller boats full of refugees from Soteria. Trosho and I went fishing to ensure that we had enough rations for our trip and all the extra hands. I came aboard the ship to see Scarlett and Connery having a deep conversation. Seeing Connery looking either very intense or scared, I could not tell. Acacia gave us all presents. She said from Darius and Curio, but I appreciate the thought. This reminds me of the Queen's Day, a Nelos holiday where we exchange gifts between warriors. I remember Corvus giving me this glaive he created himself. I wonder if Acacia's people have the same traditions. I did see her wearing this great belt. Maybe that was a gift too. Anyway, Scarlett dropped a bomb on us. Per usual. She told us that she was bitten by a were-shark. I have seen these transformations firsthand, and they are not nice. Absolutely frightening, actually. I fear they may transfer to the crew if we are not careful. Acacia and Sammy spotted Shacklebreak Island in flames. A ship was also seen and spotted, closing in on us from Shacklebreak. The Bloodhound, Ogden Ironback ship was captained by Brendel Kane. The ship was flying a banner of the Nerian Empire. They were in pursuit when we took fire and returned fire in every way, mainly by flaming arrows from Acacia and the Soterians. We disabled the ship and now we are closing in on the pirate hunters now. And scene.
And scene. Great. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Well, this is kind of subtle music, but let's go ahead and jump back into the real intense stuff. There we go. Because yes, we are mid combat here. There it is. Yes. So yes, mid ship to ship combat. So on the map, I will go back to the map that you are flying on, considering I am assuming what you're doing next, and you know what that does. Okay. So to lay out the map as it is, you have the Bloodhound, which has come about and is firing cannons pretty devastatingly at all of you. It has also fired some mortar shells from afar. Scarlet has disabled 2 of the cannons. You are not sure if your ship can take another barrage like the last one it took from just 4 cannons. So the ship has begun to come about to attempt to flank, if not ram. I'm not sure the plan has been solidly put there just yet. We have Winnie and Proximus on 2 of the refugees' ships. Acacia has become very large and has been firing arrows from the Innocents, and Scarlet is still aboard the Innocents as well. So we will go ahead and go back to top of the order, because I believe we ended at bottom of the order.
Can I, since you're at initiative, I want to write it down. Can you say what the order of the initiative is for me, please?
Yes. Initiative order is, let's see. So the ships go first. So the Innocents goes first, then the Bloodhound, and then it is Acacia, Proximus, Scarlet, Winnie.
Sorry, Acacia, Proxus, Scarlet, Winnie. Okay.
And then Winnie, yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's what I had written down. I hope that's correct. Okay.
It is now.
It is now.
Don't correct us if we're wrong.
Okay, so what would you, I guess this is kind of a Scarlet question more than anything else. Scarlet and Acacia, since you're the only 2 left on the Innocents, where Connery is kind of coming about, the ropes are still connected to the 5 refugee ships. So they will kind of come in tow as well. What would you like the Innocents to do? Did you want to try to escape? Did you want to fire back your cannons? Did you want to try to ram? There's only a few options, but there's plenty more, I'm sure. Those are just a few as I presented them.
I would like the Innocents to try to escape. Me myself would like to jump into the water.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I can board a ship without my other ship being there. It's fine.
Sure you can. Scarlet Shores. Okay, so you're going to tell Connery to just book it with the other ships?
Book it.
Book it indeed. Okay. Then that's what Connery is going to do. He is going to try to pull the other ships along and escape. You hop into the water. So let's get a little Scarlet icon.
Can I also hop into the water before? I know it's not my turn, but like...
Yeah, we will say that you both can hop into the water where the ship is currently.
Sure.
So this is happening like in the moment. And I will place you and Scarlet in the water respectively. The Acacia icon is actually accurate to size. The Scarlet icon not so much, because these are 20-foot blocks here. But yes, we will have
It's not a 20-foot long mermaid, no.
Not a 20-foot, not yet. Yes, so in that case, the Innocence is going to straighten out. And I'm actually just going to move it right over here off the map. And we're going to pull these off as well. So they will be, well, let's see. I guess Winnie's coming with them. So Winnie, you see the Innocence begins to kind of, I guess Winnie and Proximus, you both see that the Innocence begins to straighten out its course and begins to move forward, dragging all of your ships in tow. So you and Proximus are going along for the ride on that one. Did you, Scarlet or Acacia, did you give any orders to fire, or is it just dash and escape?
Dash and escape.
Okay.
Dash and escape. Okay. Then yes, the distance is much more significant than it was. We'll kind of hold this as the map here.
Could we not
Okay.
have leapt as the boats started to...
You certainly could have. If
Like if
that's
they
something
saw
you-
Acacia and
Yeah.
Yes,
Scarlet.
if
I forgot Scarlet's name.
we can say if you want, we can roll for perception just to see, because we're in the middle of combat too. So I would say Acacia with passive. No, Acacia's not one of the ones I'm thinking about. Proximus, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and roll as well.
I'm going to use one of my advantage. That's much better. Thank you, chat, for the advantages, because that helps. And I will rename myself in Zoom. I apologize.
You're fine.
Perception. 19.
17.
Yes. Yeah, you both would see, especially Acacia, jumping off the ship. Scarlet maybe a little bit harder, but you both do spot Scarlet. So you can absolutely get the idea that, oh yeah, as these ships move forward, you can jump off of the back end and also be in the water. So in that case, I will place Winnie right here. I will place Proximus right here.
What kind of ship is
I'm
this?
using my wing boots, so I'm gonna fly
Okay.
up about 40 feet straight up, and then maybe try to take the aggro.
Okay.
Be the tank.
Oh gosh, this should be fun.
Like,
I'm sorry,
imagine
Mary, you had a
us-
question?
I was just gonna say with the correct terminology, but like I can't imagine like what the people on this ship are thinking. Like, are they just gonna fucking take on a galleon or something like that? Four people.
This is
Full of people.
This is a warship. Technically, is the stat block it's using. So it is larger. Has more armaments even now than what the Innocents would even be able to hold. I will say something you all might reason out. I'm not going to need a roll for this, but the fact that they have essentially explosives, the fact that they have this type of artillery, is very interesting. Because up to this point, this type of artillery, this type of like cannonade, is very new. I mean, the whole concept of black powder is really only something the Empire uses, and when you're seeing like the Nerian flag, and you're kind of connecting the dots of them being privateers, this was probably armed recently to this, because previously people were just using ballistas and mangonels and ramming each other and ship-to-ship combat and all this, and this is presenting this whole new type of sea warfare. You all are lucky that you knew Buck to even have cannons in the first place. Okay, so there are 2 cannons that they are going to attempt to fire. They cannot move at all because you have destroyed their sails. So one of the cannons is going to shoot at disadvantage towards one of the refugee ships. The other cannon is going to try to shoot at Proximus, since you have flown up and made yourself a target. Both will be a disadvantage. The disadvantage on Proximus is because you are a small target, and these things are not made to hit small targets. Okay, so for Proximus, you fly up about 40 feet in the air, and you see the explosions, the smoke cloud that comes from these cannon ports. And you hear this whistling noise as this cannonball comes flying towards you, and it narrowly misses you. But it's kind of like you just like turn to the side and this thing goes whizzing past you. The other one, also you see splashes into the water just short of one of the refugee ships. It is now you all's turn, all y'all's, as they say in Florida. So, Acacia, what would you like to do?
I only have a 30-foot swim speed, so I'm just gonna move up by 30 feet. I know these are 20-foot squares. So
we'll
I
average
just
it
go
out.
to the 100 mark. That's okay.
Yeah. I will let you move yourself if you...
It's not letting me.
Oh, okay. I might not have given permission on these because these are new ones. Okay, so you're moving how many feet until you're dashing?
I'm dashing using my bonus action and using my regular movement. So total 90.
Total 90. Okay.
Rogue life.
Hashtag rogue life. Great. So that is your turn, Proximus. You see beneath you the massive form. You're like, oh, is that a shark? And you're like, oh no, it's a horse person. So you see the torso of Acacia like a shark fin popping out of the water.
I've been thinking about how this looks forever, and I cannot conceptualize it.
Yeah, because horses swim like this, and people swim like this. How do... This feels like
I can't
80s
tell if this
stand-up.
part's above the water or I'm above the water at my waist. It's
Your whole waist is above
Like,
the water as
which waist?
Well, and you
which is
have the
awesome
breathing
because you
apparatus.
can
could be-
actually do
you can be fully
actions while
submerged.
you're swimming. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I
you
could
can be
do.
fully submerged if you want. Okay.
I would know which waist. I would know 100% like how like the distance of these cannons, right?
You have seen kind of like where they were shooting from now that they've turned to their side. You've gotten a good idea of kind of what the range of certain weapons are, especially having cannons of your own. You might have some insight to that, yes.
So I would want to dash 40. I think I want to move to the... What's the rear of the ship called? I should know this. I should really know
stern.
this, but stern, yeah. Gosh. So yeah, I'm going to move 80 feet, dashing in flight towards the rear of the ship to the stern.
Okay, so just about
So
right
that'll
here.
put me-
That's 60, so that's 80. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to, because it would be an awkward angle for the cannons.
Yeah.
And trying
absolutely.
to maybe bring, that puts me within 80 feet of the ship. So I'm in range of bows. Yay.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're also in range of the people on board. Okay. Yeah, I sorry, I was seeing what I was tagged in chat. Yeah, double speed for the horse and human power. Yeah. It's like a strange insect, just all 6 legs.
Just
Um,
going together.
all right,
That's my turn.
Scarlet. Thank you. Scarlet, as you dive into the water and your lower half takes on that vibrant, aquiline, fishy form, are your scales a different color now? This is the first time you've
I
kind of been in
don't
the
think
water.
so. I think there's still like the silvery iridescent kind of no color deal.
Okay. All right.
Camouflage. Blend in with the colors around you.
Terrifying.
Terrifying.
Terrifying. So you dive into the water, take on that silverish fishy form lower half. Your webbed fingers kind of extend out just a little bit, your teeth lengthening just a little bit. This isn't a were-shark thing, it's a siren thing. Your hair gets a little wild in the water, takes on like this almost like sea anemone type movement. What would you like to do?
Dash towards the ship.
You got it. What's your speed?
It's faster in water, but I can't find it. That's what I was looking for. I know it's faster.
It's probably 40.
Should
So,
be in your
'cause-
features.
Except I have a custom race, and
Oh, yes, that's right.
didn't put it in there because I'm apparently
Also, you have a tail, not feet. Dang it.
not thinking right.
Winnie, what is sea elf movement in water?
30.
Is it 30? I want to say it was 40 because I remember it being faster than sea elf, and that seems to track because standard movement speed would be 30. We'll say it's 40. If we need to go back and fix it later, we will. And also mathematically, that makes it easier on me. So you're going to move 80 feet in total, so that will drop you just past Winnie. So you all are just like booking it through the water again, like cutting through these waves. And Winnie, as you begin to make a decision on where you're going to move, you like Turbo Scarlet comes moving past you, this wake kind of left behind her. Winnie, what would you like to do?
I don't remember the sea elf mermaid relationship. I know sirens are kind of their own thing, but I'm sure that's a little disconcerting. Winnie.
Sea elves aren't typically hunted by sirens, if that helps at all.
Does.
There's, the communities, sirens are, at least with merfolk and sea elves, there's typically alliances more than often than not.
Winnie's too cute to hunt.
Swim speed is 30, by the way.
Most cutest game.
No, yes, okay. I'm sorry, Kaila, you said your speed was 30?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. We'll move you in the same box as Scarlet then. Or Scarlet and Winnie, we'll put you in the
for
same
like
thing.
2 seconds, because Winnie would also like to dash, but she would like to, because I don't think I can get there in one go.
But I lied, I'm so sorry. Gift of the Sea gives me 40 feet.
That makes sense. That makes more sense.
That's where the 40 came from. I'm done interrupting, I'm so sorry.
Moving you back.
I would like to use. I'm trying to remember what I'm. 5. So 10 feet total out of 60. To. No, I'm sorry. Math. Since I don't think I can make it to the ship with my dash, I would like to take 5 feet to go like under maybe 10 feet and blend in, I guess, make it harder to see, and then go as straight to the ship as I can.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for stealth then, since you are moving more stealthily than your turbo team.
I'm just kind of... Yes, I see what you're saying. Ooh!
I mean, you're actively trying to obfuscate. Yes?
That was a nat 24.
Okay.
I like how I'm using these things on things that don't really matter. 25.
Okay. I mean, you've now taken all of the things that they can shoot at and replace yourselves with them. So Winnie's now at least taken themselves out as a target. So that's nice.
She's too delicate.
So how many feet then are you traveling? 50, right?
We'll say 50, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so 20, 40. So, yeah, we'll put you right there. Okay, moving straight ahead, I assume. Okay. All right. It is the ship's turn. With that, I'm going to say it's got 4 cannons. There's 4 of you. It's going to have disadvantage on technically all of you, almost double disadvantage on Winnie. So I'll roll 3 times and take the lowest number for that. There's ship upgrades. Okay. So, first attack going at Proximus. Yeah, either way, that's a 10. So, don't think that's hitting Proximus. Shooting at Acacia. And Acacia is bigger, but Acacia's in the water, which provides the disadvantage. So that is a 13 and a 17. So 13 does not hit.
No.
Shooting at Scarlet. That's a 9. And that's a 22. So the 9 will not hit. And Winnie. That is a 10. So again, the cannons fire, and each of you, cannonballs flying towards you, whizzing past, hitting the water before they hit you, flying way too wide at Proximus. Maybe just like barely going past Acacia's shoulder. Yeah, no hits on that one. So we're back to all y'all's turns. So Acacia, what would you like to do?
So you know that thing I said I wanted to try and do? Did you come up with a number?
What would you have to do to capsize the ship?
I'm literally going to ram it.
Yeah, and you're technically huge right now, and this is gargantuan.
I can make people lose their footing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Try.
This is knocking the buoyancy off of a ship. What is push in D&D?
I don't push a lot.
I think that's
I don't know.
it's shoving. Using the action, you make a special melee attack to shove the creature, either to knock it prone or push it away from you. Yeah, so let's use whatever that is.
I'm just gonna just dash as quick as I can. Well, it all depends if you're going to allow me to do it as part of an act as running, because I have to use all of my action economy.
It's one of your centaur things, isn't it? Is it charge one of your centaur things?
Charging is, oh god, where is it? Frickin', it's somewhere in my feet. Racial traits. Charge, if you move at least 30 feet straight towards a target hit with a melee attack, blah blah blah. You can make, it's technically a bonus action. That's the thing.
I'd count it. That's fine.
Okay.
If you, yeah.
I'm going so fast.
It makes sense that if you're running at them, you wouldn't have to make like a whole nother 3 seconds of. Anyway, yes.
Okay,
if you would like to charge,
yes,
it will. Yes, we'll see from your roll.
I just want them to be surprised. I really don't think I can capsize this entire ship, even when I'm size
think they
category.
will be surprised. Just saying.
And that's what I'm going for. So,
okay.
Eva, I am going to use one of my advantages. So if you want to take that off the overlay, that would be appreciated. And you let me know if I pass or fail, Derek, because I will use one of my psionic points for this as well.
You're gonna hit it. It's how much you hit it is.
Yeah, no, I completely understand.
Yeah.
I'll also add assuming my strength now that I have Hill Giant strength belt.
Oh yeah.
I got a 19 on the die, so that's a 24. Is this a pass or fail roll? Will you allow me to use one of my psionic points?
You have hit it pretty well. If you want to use psionic stuff to hit it even more, that is absolutely your prerogative.
Because technically I can only use them when I fail a roll, but this is not like a pass-fail roll, so it's up to GM.
If you want to use them, I will leave that. Yeah, I will let you add them if you would like.
Okay, so the final total is so it's only a 25. I rolled a 1 on my psionic die.
So motorboat-like, you see Acacia's feet just like the hooves kicking through the water, and this larger centaur form, much like you saw in the town square of Korra, when she shoulder checked a hill giant, same size now, barreling like another ship in the water, crashing into the side. You hear the oak groan on this pirate ship, this pirate hunter warship, and boards crack, and you all watch as the ship begins to just hurl over on the other side as the force of Acacia rams into it. Acacia, from your perspective, a couple of sailors get knocked into the water.
Good.
It does not fully capsize. It does have at least enough buoyancy to stay up.
That's
but
fair.
there is a certain point where it tips enough that people fall off, and then kind of begins to sway back the other way.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Can you just move me up there too?
Yeah, you got it.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I got you.
I'm done with my turn.
Okay. Proximus, you have watched your Lord Centaur friend just check a warship.
This
what
is
would you
everything to me right now. Like I can't even. Yeah. I feel like Proximus would move in is 40 feet, and is there anybody on the deck?
Oh yes. There are still 10 sailors standing on the deck, as well as Brindle Kane, and a lot of fire. You can see that there are some charred spots that were just extinguished by the water kind of splashing back up. But there's severely damaged parts of the top deck of this ship. And there's still a lot of flame that is active and is still kind of spreading over the spots that didn't get splashed up on.
I can see Brindle Kane.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's standing at the helm. Absolutely. And you can see that when he spots you, he sticks a hand out, and there's another sailor at his side, hands him a rather large bow, and he has quiver of arrows at his hip.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna dash and get right next to him.
Okay.
So 40 more feet in, I'm on the ship, right next to my boy, Brindle. Hi, Brindle.
Okay. I will likely move over to the other map here shortly, but before we do, Scarlet, what would you like to do?
Can I see the cannons from where I am in the water?
You sure can. Sure
Are
can.
the two still disabled?
They are not. That's where the 4 shots came from last turn. You
Right.
disabled them for a turn, and
Cool.
then the last turn, the 4 shots were fired out. So,
Cool. I'm gonna try to disable at least 2 of them again.
okay.
Well, one's a natural 19.
That'll do it. Has an
So-
AC, cannon has an AC of 19.
Then the other one does not make it. The other one is just a 15.
Okay.
And that is 8 points of damage to the one.
Okay. We will consider it disabled for another turn.
Okay.
Since
And I
that
would like
Can I do
interrupts
something
the
on my
reloading.
bonus action?
I'm sorry?
Can I do something on my bonus action? Because I forgot.
Yeah. Yeah, go for it.
I just first form early Shadow Blade, cast my Shadow Blade as a bonus action. So
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
have it out. Yeah.
You got
Sorry.
it. You're fine. Okay. Scarlet, did you want to move for your turn?
Yep. Move as close
Okay.
as I can.
Okay, so you've got the 40 feet, puts you up there with Winnie. And Winnie, you are likely going to do some movement as well. So you watch as a couple of Eldritch Blasts. Well, as you look up, you might see the Eldritch Blast fired through the sunlight above. But as you move more silently through the water, what would you like to do?
I would like to move forward 30 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Scarlet got rid of 2 cannons? Disabled?
Scarlet got knocked out 1.
1, okay. And there's 3 more, right?
There are.
On this side?
Correct.
Okay, she doesn't want to. But she will surface. And I don't know how well this is gonna work, but I would like to acid splash one of the still working ones, or
Okay.
gummed up ones.
What's the range on Acid Splash?
60 feet. So I feel like that's okay.
Yeah, you can absolutely hit a
Oh, and
cannon
I
with
could go
that.
back under the water. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. And what's the?
It's
Is that a save or is
It's a dex 16.
Okay, I'm not sure the cannons have a dexterity, so I will say that automatically hits.
Okay. And it is 8 damage of
Okay.
acid, which is, I don't know. Oh,
Yeah.
I can actually choose 2 creatures. So, are they within 5 feet of each other? Probably not, actually.
They're 10 feet. They're 10 feet themselves, so they're technically 10 feet apart.
Okay, so that's fine. So I'll just the one then.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can get one of the sailors that's operating them if you want to really get nasty about it.
But I feel bad about it.
That's a very witty thing to say. Okay.
Do they look mad? Like, do they look mean?
Roll
Just-
insight. I don't know how to answer that.
Just 15 and Winnie, why are you like this? 17.
Yeah. These are pirate hunters who were
Well,
hunting
but they
you,
might
and
be
you just
like-
splashed acid on their cannon. They were trying to kill you.
Okay.
They're
well,
not happy.
They don't necessarily want to be there.
Okay, they might be happy, but there's a scowl on that face. And
Okay.
when he's like, scowls aren't good. And like for a second, your hand goes to that wand of friendship that you have. But then you're like, we don't have enough time for this in this turn.
Nope.
Okay, disabling 2 other cannons. There are 2 cannons left for the ship's turn. The ship will fire both of those at Winnie and Scarlet, respectively, considering they were the ones that did the damage to the cannons, and the other people are too close to hit. So, at disadvantage once again. Let's see. For Scarlet, that was an 18. So, we'll hit Scarlet, and for Winnie, that was a 16. So it won't hit Winnie, but we will get a cannonball at Scarlet. So Scarlet, you are going to take a little bit of damage. Scarlet, you are going to take 42 points of bludgeoning damage as a cannon comes barreling directly at you. And does hit you in the water. And Winnie, you, even from your perspective, could definitely hear like the splash, and it would definitely sound different. How are we doing over there, Scarlet? Solid. Okay. All right. With that, we will move. Let's see. Winnie's 40 feet from the ship. Scarlet is 60 feet. We'll bear that in mind as I move you all over to the other map. Because I got 2 of you already there. Okay, so while I place you all there, let's see, I've got PCs, and we have Acacia, who's just about right here. Come on. Acacia, there we go. And she big, and she big. So there's Acacia. Proximus is just about right here. And then we have, let's see, Brindle Kane, who is just about right there. And Proximus, if that's not where you actually landed, just let me know, and I can absolutely move you. But we are at Keisha's turn. Oops. What would you like to do?
So you said it's kind of like rocking a little bit back and forth, right?
Yes, yes. So I'm not gonna say that it comes back and hits you. You have enough time for as it creaks back towards you.
I want to grab. I want to grab it when it's the railing when it's like on my side, so I can clamber up.
Sure. Okay. Rogue-like enough. You were able to do that as it's like tipping lower. I will say as you do that, I am going to move some more people. I'm going to move a lot of these sailors. So again, you got 10 sailors. I'm going to move one of them into the flames here. We're going to move that guy, this guy. This guy's able to hold on. This dude's moving here, and that dude's moving there. And there. Okay. So yes, Acacia, you are able to clamber on right there. It's a tight space because there is this walkway right here, but you're able to kind of brace yourself against a couple of areas, and we'll say that you are able to at least push. We'll push this fellow back a little bit.
Can I if I have, I'll let you decide if I have enough move speed. I have a 40-foot move speed walking.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make my way over to where Proximus is and attack the guy he's going after? You're muted.
So the tough thing is that this is all railing around them. So I'm trying to figure out. I could probably get like Acacia could stand on the back here and is tall enough to probably swipe at this guy. Standing up here with the where the wheel is and everything is a little bit tighter because you've got a sail, you've got the wheel, you've got these stairs. So I can put you. You can absolutely
let's
stand
make it
here
a little
and reach
simpler
it.
Then. Let's go put me back where I was.
Sure.
The guy right to my left. I'm huge. I'd like to just toss him overboard.
Okay. This is, I'm glad I looked up the rules for shove. Go ahead and make a strength check.
I can do that, and I am large, so let's go. That is a 19.
Okay. He rolled an 8, So yes, I will say that if you would like, you may absolutely just King Kong this poor sailor and plunge him overboard.
Absolutely. I am throwing that motherfucker as
Okay.
far as I can.
Yeah, well, it's it's a human being, so you trust him about as far as you can throw him. He does make it into water. Let's say just about right there.
Perfect.
Okay. Anything else for your turn?
Glare menacingly at one of the others and just give him the look that says you're next.
Glaring menacingly is a free action. Wonderful. Proximus, what would you like to do?
I am going to use all of my sorcery points to quicken spell my Eyes of Darkness and cast darkness around me and what's his name again?
Brindle Kane.
Brindle. He's going to die. I'm going to kill him. I want to kill him. Yeah.
Okay.
So I cast darkness around us, and then I am going to 14.
Is that darkness centered on you?
Yes.
Okay, and you said it's 30 feet?
It's 15 feet radius, I'm sure.
So yeah, 30 feet in total. Okay. So that's
15 feet.
5, 10, 15,
Yeah.
30. Okay. So it should be roughly that, I think. Okay.
And from the darkness, you hear 14th form, Descent of the Shadow Dragon. And I'm going to Unholy Smite him twice on my 2 rolls. Do I get advantage because he's in darkness? I sure do.
Are you able to see in the darkness?
My Shadow Blade, yes. Eyes of the Darkness.
Okay.
I can cast it and see. But my Shadow Blade gives me advantage in shaded or darkness.
Then yeah, you do.
I just made it so. And I'm going to use an advantage. So you can take that off there. Because that was terrible. All right. 19 to hit. On the first.
Yes, and here I am. I didn't have his thing pulled. Yes, that does hit. 19 will hit. I'm trying to make this circle actually work. Let's see. So it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That's the big circle. Okay.
And dirty 20 to hit.
Okay. I think. Why can't you make this easier? Roll 20. There. I'm saying it's that. That's close enough. I'm sorry. What was the damage, Proximus?
I haven't rolled damage yet.
I'm sorry.
20,
what was this?
A dirty 20 to hit, and
yes.
34 damage on the first hit.
Okay.
And oops. Oh, 16. And 30 even on the second hit.
Nice. Yeah, so you see this, Brindle Kane is a shifter. He is more of a lichen shifter, so very lupine, wolf-like features. A lot of facial hair with these piercing blue eyes and like heavier set eyebrows and longer hair that seems very unwashed and mangled together with these streaks of like grays and browns and silvers. Wears this heavier coat. Like I say, he had drawn a bow, and as you kind of like land next to him, didn't really necessarily expect that. You get a couple of attacks as this darkness kind of wraps around him. Okay. Yeah. That is a pretty solid turn. So with your Eyes of Darkness, you can see that you're landing some pretty solid attacks on this guy.
You can stop this right now. Call your men off and give up.
With that, we're going to Scarlet. So, Scarlet, you were, and I even said it and I forgot, you were 60 feet from the ship.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do?
Seeming as if I move, I'm not going to be super useful. I will try to take out the cannons again so that Winnie can get to said ship safely.
Okay.
And not end
two
up
are
like
already
me.
disabled, so you can target the other two if you would like.
Mm-hmm. Well, one's a nat 1, so that's not happening, and the other's a 5, so no.
Okay, so that cannon.
I'm still feeling that.
Yeah, you took that hit pretty hard.
Vision's a little wobbly.
Did you still want to move at all, or did you want to
Yes,
stay in place?
I'll try to move close then. So we're only 20 feet away.
Yeah, so you'll be 20 feet then from the ship. Winnie, what would you like to do?
Commit a war crime, but I think...
And you were 40 feet from the ship, I should say.
I am...
Oh, war crime.
Y'all love me, right? Y'all love Winnie. Winnie's a good time. Winnie's your friend.
She could stand
Winnie's
to be
already
a little
committed a couple of war crimes. Eva, this isn't new for Winnie.
The sailors.
Winnie killed a man by shrinking his suit of armor around him.
How, at this time, how salvageable does the ship look? Like...
It's still buoyant. I mean, you've destroyed the sails, the top deck is on fire, but it is a salvageable ship in the sense that, like, it could sail with a significant level of repairs. Like, you could tow it into port and it would be fine, but it would probably take a couple of days at least with a full crew working to restore it.
Okay. I need everyone to know I'm being strong.
Proud of you.
I am... How far is Scarlet from the ship?
20 feet.
I'm going to swim on up to Scarlet. I'm gonna pat her on her scary little siren head. And cast Cure Wounds, which is not super great. Super sorry about that. But you get 5 hit points back, so...
I do have to ask about one critical thing, because Winnie did say that she was beneath the water, swimming under Scarlet. Do you, like, grab Scarlet like something in the water, like all of our deepest fears?
Oh, yeah.
Or...
Yeah.
Okay.
So my hand just, like, slithers up the bottom of her tail.
Yeah. Cure Wounds like an absolute nightmare. That's also weirdly suggestive.
Yeah.
Eva, I just have to say.
You're welcome.
Okay. What is the overall curing that we get for your Cure Wounds?
Wait. I said it was 5, but that's not actually true. It's going to be... I didn't open my cheat sheet. I'm super sorry. When I use it for the first time... plus 4, so 9.
To 9 points? Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else for your turn?
No. Just that moving closer into, like, Scarlet's space.
You got it. So you and Scarlet, will say, are both roughly 20 feet from the ship. Okay. Then you were technically out of range for the cannons because of the angle that you're at. So at this point, we're just going to go into individual combat for what is on the ship. So let me roll for these Jagos. Oh wow, a 1 and a 2. Thanks, dice. I'm glad I use you not for my other games. Okay, so these individuals will go last. We'll put Brindle Kane directly after Winnie, And we will put the rest of the pirates very dead last. So, with that, Acacia, it is your turn. You have thrown a sailor into the water. He did the Wilhelm scream, just to address that. What would you like to do?
I would like to start making my way. Actually, I can reach that motherfucker right near the wheel. I'm gonna. Oh wait, I can't see him. There's darkness. So
yeah, you're kind of like a lot of you is in darkness. So this big kind of darkness bubble extended from your shadowy Proximus pal.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Proximus do his weird shadowy death thing.
Cater to his dark passenger. Yeah.
I'm gonna start making my way towards, I don't know, the one near the fire, and I'm also gonna chuck that one overboard.
Okay. I will say the fire icons, if you do move into them,
Right.
you will take damage from them. So if you are going to pick up the charbroiled pirate, you absolutely can.
Is he on fire?
He is on fire. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna let him be then. He can
Okay.
deal with his own problems. I'm gonna go to the other one.
Okay. So I'll put you right here. So, north or west?
I'm gonna go north and grab that one.
Okay. So you can grab this fella here. Are you looking to throw this individual as well?
Yeah.
Okay. I will put you then right here. I think movement will be sufficient for that.
Yeah, I think so.
Go ahead and roll another strength roll.
All right, let's go. That is only a 16. Let me know if I pass or fail.
You did not. He rolled a nat 20 on that one. So
Okay.
his overall roll is 23.
I don't think I can beat that. So 6. I would need to roll a 7 or 8 on my psionic die. So I'm just gonna shove him.
Okay.
Narratively.
Narratively, yes. So yeah, as you go to reach down, seeing what happened to his shipmate, this pirate just is able to push your big horse hands away. They aren't horse hands, I guess. That'd be weird. Horses
They're
don't have
regular
hands.
hands.
Yeah, regular hands. Your regular human hands, wink wink. So he's able to kind of shove them out of the way and goes to draw his weapon to engage with you.
That's
since
fair.
you are just launching people into the water. Great. Proximus. It's still encapsulated by darkness with brindle cane, kind of wild-eyed. You can at least see wild-eyed and looking with to attempt to draw his weapon to try to fight you. What would you like to do? Michael?
Was that me? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're all
I
good.
switched headphones and I'm sorry.
Oh, right. Okay. That's fair.
That perfect time.
Yeah. You got Brindle Cade in front of you. You can see that he's wild-eyed. He's looking to somehow strike back at this whoever created this darkness, this being that flew down from above. What would you like to do?
So I'd like to spin kind of towards the back of him, just for flavor, and to his back, and then whisper in his ear, "You will die." And then I am going to again roll with advantage, with my shadow blade. It's 26 to hit. I like
yeah, 26 will hit.
Gosh. And a 24 to hit. I'm sorry. I can math. It's fine, guys. Whatever. And then my blade is going to continue to be white hot, and I will unholy smite him at 3rd level, giving me too many d8s that I'm going to have to add. 22 on the first hit. And 29 on the second hit.
29. All right. I will note one thing. So kind of in the darkness, when you whisper the "you will die," you notice he has these pointed ears off to the side, and they seem to almost twitch when you say that. Just for flavor. Okay. With that, Scarlet, you're 20 feet from the ship. What would you like to do? You've got a little bit of healing, which is nice.
I was trying to figure out, 1, how to get up on the ship. 2,
yeah.
How could I get people off the ship from not being on the ship? So, I have control water, but I don't. None of the effects really seem to lend towards ripping people off ships.
Bummer.
That's where I'm at currently, because I was like, I also have a tentacle, but it's only 10 foot long.
I will say you have at least 2 sailors that you can see that you could Eldritch Blast. There is a ladder on the side. It's just about right here that you would be able to climb up. So if you didn't want to get up, if you didn't want to shoot people from where you are, there's that as well.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll Eldritch Blast the funsies.
Okay.
For this round one more time.
Go for it.
Which ones did you say I could see? I missed the.
It's the 2 that are closest to the railing here. So there's one that's
the one that's on fire.
Yeah, going to take a turn to get out of the fire.
Okay. That's fine. A natural 20 and a 2.
Yep.
So
natural 20 and a 2. Okay. So 1 will hit.
See. 1. So that's actually a 10. The 2 is a 10. Not that I think that's gonna hit, but
it does not. But the 20 of course does.
how do we do nat 20s around here?
You can double the dice or double the damage after you. That is your prerogative.
Double the dice. If I can find my other D10.
Should have 2 of them anyway.
I have like 5 of them in this, and I couldn't find them. So 18 total.
18 total. Okay. Are you targeting the one that's on fire or the other one?
The 20 was the first one, so I like to do like reading, so left to right. So it would be the one not on fire.
Okay. Good.
You love my ADHD logic. Things that make sense.
Nice. It makes sense. It's nice. It's nice. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay. Yeah, so you blast this guy and see kind of like his head rolls forward because he's not looking out towards the water. He's now like looking in towards the fire, the giant centaur, the bubble of darkness that has appeared. Yeah, still standing, but definitely took a hit there.
And then as my bonus action, I would like to summon one of my tentacles on like the edge here. The edge of the ship. I can do it within 60 feet that I can see.
Let's make a tentacle.
I should make one. I'll make a token before last time.
Yeah. I meant to do one. We will freehand a tentacle. We'll see how well this turns out. Tentacle. You know what? Not my best, not my worst.
Perfect.
All right. Anything else for your turn?
Move in as close as I can. I don't think I'll be able to make it up on the ship, but I at least want to get to the ladder.
You can at least get to the ladder for sure. So we'll pop Scarlet right down here. Nope. No, I'm drawing on Scarlet. There we go. So Scarlet will put you, right there with the ladder. So you can use your next turn to climb aboard. Winora, what would you like to do?
Well, I would like... I suppose... I'm gonna get close. Can I get to that, You said he's human? In the water?
That is a human sailor in the water. Yes, not all the fighters on board are necessarily human. That one is.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be human to make a Wilhelm scream. I don't make the rules.
That's fair. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And he looks bad. He doesn't look like coerced
He's-
into this life of pirate hunting.
I see. You're trying to judge someone's morals
Yes.
by watching them float. Like, does he float like a bad person? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
I don't know how to explain this to Winnie. This is someone who is being aggressive towards you and seems actively aggressive, even now as they float in the water.
To
Aggression
be fair,
might not be
Acacia
necessarily.
judged that he wasn't a good person. So,
There's that, yeah.
what are the? Someone give me a content warning. Winnie would like to. How far is it to him to swim over to him?
This is not Beeson. So Winnie, it would be about 20 feet
Okay.
because you're about 20 feet from the ship.
And grabbing is like a... I would like to grab him and pull him under, like, deeper.
Okay. Go ahead, and this is absolutely grappling. Roll for strength. I'm gonna give him disadvantage. I guess this is... I'm gonna have him roll for athletics with disadvantage because he is more so fighting to stay up and swim than he is necessarily like grappling, like trying to fight somebody who's wrapping around you.
Okay. It's just strength?
It's essentially it's a melee attack. You're trying to grapple somebody, so yeah, it is a.
So
it is a
I don't
strength
get
attack.
athletics, is I guess what I was asking.
No, because what you're trying to do is not necessarily like stay afloat. You're trying to pull somebody else under. Do you have an extra bonus to athletics? Is that what you're asking?
I have a +1. I'm just looking for anything
Okay.
I can get.
He rolled an 11.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. Actually, a +5. He rolled a 13.
I also rolled a 13.
Okay, well, attacker gets the benefit there. So, you were able to pull this individual 5 feet under, and submerge their body.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else for your turn?
I don't believe I can do anything else, so...
Do you have any bonus actions, or any, if you want Jeffrey to do something?
No, I mean, he can only... Oh my god, he does have his own actions that aren't just... Oh my god. Yes. Yes. He does have something really quick. I'm so sorry. He would like
I will
to...
pop Jeffrey on the map.
Oh, baby Jeffrey. He would like to, hit, like, just swim out. I mean, he's, like, right with me, so he doesn't have to go anywhere. He would like to just punch this guy. And he gets
Okay.
a +4, so that's a 21.
That'll hit. Yeah, go ahead and roll. So this pirate has been picked up like Uppy style by a centaur, a giant centaur, launched overboard, starring Goldie Hawn, and now has been pulled underwater, and then as like getting his bearings, like eyes trying to open in the salt water, air bubbling from his mouth. A small metallic were shark just fucking clocks him in the dome.
For 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage. Solid. Okay.
But the indignity is immeasurable.
Is immeasurable. You're right. Yes. Okay. Great. With that, let's see, where we're time-wise. It's just about break time, as we hit top of the order again. So let's actually go ahead and take a break, do the things. We appreciate you all sticking around. We appreciate you all hanging out as long as you have. This is a great time to remind you that if you enjoy these players and the things that they do, the best way to support them and this show really is to donate through our Pally, our Pally.dg. You can support these players. It gets evenly distributed. Whatever you donate gets evenly distributed to the players and any tech people we have as well as anytime you make a donation, it influences the game. It provides advantages, crits, a whole bunch of different things. I will do the sea shanty when we get back, just to make sure that we do have time for all the other stuff. So go do the things. We appreciate you, and we will see you in about 10 minutes. Stick around. We are now no longer ship-to-ship combat. It's just we're combating on a ship, not with a ship. I guess it's a little bit been with a ship. There was a giant centaur that did shoulder check a ship. But before all of that, we did hit a hype train early on, which does mean that we do a sea shanty. That I do a sea shanty. The royal we does a sea shanty. So I have
some.
I have
give you a break.
So many. No, honestly, if we were all in one room, I would make you sing like the bridge with me and at least get that harmony going, because that's kind of half a sea shanty, right? As you get the people. Some of them are tougher to do by yourself because the whole point is repeating the same thing, but there's like octave changes. Hard to do by yourself.
Just want to say I love all of you deeply, and that's why I'm going to say we're never going to do a sea shanty in the round live, because with the delay and Zoom,
an absolute auditory nightmare.
Okay, we can't even say "and we're alive" for 10 candles in sync.
We cannot. Oh,
because there's songs like "My Mother Told Me," which is the same line over and over, but there's people that get added in. The "Leave Her Johnny, Leave Her" has some stuff to it, but there's a lot of I try to pick the ones that don't have a lot of repetition. But I did have one that I've loved for a very long time. It's a newer one. It's from the Longest Johns, who are a musical group that kind of do like new versions of sea shanties. And they have one which I think very much it really embodies the energy of your crew. It's called "Hoist Up the Thing." So it goes: fresh out of college, with grades straight from hell, I browse for a trade in which I could excel, and add for a ship in need of some manning, men sails and purpose, but lacking a captain. What luck says I to find such good fortune? A few white lies later, I ran down the pier, bought me a coat and a cutlass or two, jumped up on the deck, and I yelled at the crew, "Hoist up the thing, batten down the what's it? What's that thing spinning? Somebody should stop it. Turn hard to port, that's not port. Now I've got it. Trust me, I'm in control." Anyway, I'll do. I can't sing the shanties, it has to be said, and all of that grog just goes straight to my head. Whale meat is gross, and I miss a girl's laugh. 5 weeks at sea, even Dave seems a catch. Hoist up the thing, batten down the what's it? What's that thing spinning? Somebody should stop it. Turn hard to port, that's not port. Now I've got it. Trust me, I'm in control. There you go. Hoist up the thing. Longest Johns. So, with that, let's get back to... Thanks, Allie. Let's get back to combat. Let's play some music. Let's do this thing. Find the right song. There we go. Cool. So, most of you have made it near, if not on board. We are back to the top of the order. The ship is essentially out of combat itself because there's nothing to shoot at anymore. You all gave a clean getaway to the refugee ships as well as the Innocence itself, and as you all look out, it is just like very far in the distance, you can see the sails now, because it is absolutely booking it with those magical sails that you have given to it. And even the mortars, which are, I should note, these two things right up at the front of the ship on the stern here, those are the mortars surrounded by fire. There is nobody to man them, which is why they have not fired, because you kind of set the entire front half of the ship ablaze. So we're back to top of the order then with Acacia. Acacia, you have kind of I'm sorry, we're not at top of the order, because they actually get to attack back. I always forget
No.
that. Whoopsies. So yeah, let me actually have these guys do their thing. So first thing, I'm going to have this individual actually step out of the fire. He's going to spend his turn stop, dropping, and rolling to try to get the flames out. Let's see. This individual is going to come over towards Acacia, as well as this individual. This guy is going to move right about there. And this guy is going to move right about there. Okay. Then we will do, I guess technically it's Brittle Kane's turn first. We'll just wrap everybody together. So, Acacia, you are going to take 3, technically 6 longsword attacks, because they get 2 attacks each. So,
Cool.
it's +5 to hit.
Let's go.
So that's a 14.
No.
That is a 23.
Yes.
And that is a 12.
No.
Okay, and then we've got 11.
No.
10.
No.
And a 22.
22. Yes, I'm
so
gonna
2
use,
longsword attacks.
I'm gonna
you were going.
use,
Yeah, go ahead.
my uncanny dodge on one of those. The first one. It's fine. So
Okay.
cut that in half.
Okay. So the first attack, then you will take 5 points of damage.
Mhm.
The second attack, you will take 10 points of damage. So 15 points of slashing damage in total as these individuals come after you. Proximus, this guy is going to try a couple of swings. He's going to get 2 at disadvantage because he is in darkness. So we've got, let's see, what is that? That's going to be a 23. And then a 19. So for some reason, better rolls on those. Oh yeah, the 19 doesn't. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so you will take 10 points of slashing damage. And then Brindle Kane is going to, and you'll be able to see this in the darkness. You can see this guy kind of running where he thinks you are, and the first slash goes wide. The second one does actually catch you in the darkness. And it's with that again, when you notice Brindle Kane's like ears perk, he is a shifter. He has extra kind of like sensory perception, not ESP, but like he can actually hear incredibly well. So when you made your presence known, you can see he at first draws a blade from his side and is going to make 2 attacks with that. Okay, the first one is, what's that, 14, and the second one is a 22. So you will take 9 points of slashing damage. Oof. And then with his opposite hand, you see he draws something, which actually, I'm not sure you've necessarily seen one of these before. He draws a like handheld blunderbuss from like the inside of his coat and points it at you. So he will again have disadvantage on this attack. I'm sorry, no, he doesn't have disadvantage because he heard where you were. So let's see, that is a 19 to hit.
No, that does not hit.
Okay. So this shot goes just a little wide, but even from where you are, the blast of it, the light that would be there, this smoke just kind of like fills your nostrils, and you can even see where behind you it just absolutely devastates the wood of the railing that would have been behind you. It's a pretty damaging weapon. Okay, so with that then, we are back to top of the order. So Acacia, you now have 3 individuals engaging with you. What would you like to do?
I want to try and go for whoever looks the weakest first out of those 3.
Okay.
Or I could
I
try and
don't
throw
believe-
someone over.
Yeah, I don't
Do these
believe
look-
any of them have taken damage week-wise, but you can say that there's one scrawny one.
I'm just going to try and throw someone overboard again. I have learned from Final Fantasy XIV that mobs are dangerous and being surrounded by multiple things are dangerous. So let's thin that out first, and I'm going to try and throw someone overboard.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's go. But I'm going to go just for, I don't know, one of them who looks weak.
Sure. We'll say the one to the far left of the map right here. Let's say that is a it's a very scrawny looking hobgoblin who seems like maybe one of the younger ones aboard.
Sure. I got a 21.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what they got. Not even close. No, that's
However,
that's
if Final Fantasy 14 wants to sponsor us, the people who have made it, we're
sure.
top.
Yeah,
We can
Final
talk,
Fantasy. Yeah, a new Pokemon game. I'm not picky. You know what? Honestly, yeah.
I will talk about the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy 14 with a free level up to 60, level 60, including the Heaven Sword expansion every session for money. Sure. Yeah, so I chucked that guy overboard, and then that's all I can do for my turn.
Okay, so yeah, you swing around. We'll say they get tossed overboard right there. Okay. With that, Proximus, it is your turn.
I'm going to do what I do best and go in for a couple swipes with my Shadow Blade. Oh, so close. 19, so 27 to hit?
27 absolutely hits. Yeah, you're still going after Brindle?
Yeah, I'm still...
Kane.
Still after Brindle.
Fun fact, his name is meant to be a pun on Calico Jack, who was a famous pirate.
Ah.
Because Calico's like...
And a nat 20. Ooh. Nat 20 and a 13 together. Oof. On the nat 20, I am going to ignite my unholy smite. Oh gosh, how many fucking... At... well, first level, but... 1, 2, 3... Where am I? Oh, there. $34 doubled.
Okay, 68? So 68. Okay. Yeah, that alone takes out Brindle Kane. Are you... I do want to ask this because I'll always try to offer this if this is a consideration. This is a pirate captain. Did you want to try to leave them alive for a questioning, or is this like, we're done here? I can ask, what can bring you back with Speak with the Dead, or I can talk to one of your sailors, but, I can rifle through your shit, but you're not useful.
I believe season 1, Proximus would probably want to talk.
Yeah.
But I am not here to talk anymore.
Yeah. Your season, like, Season 2 Proximus, you were on a break. Yeah.
So
Friends reference. Proximus, tell me how you take out Brindle Kane.
Will slowly slide the Shadow Blade into his back and go up to his head. And it is psychic damage, so it doesn't show any physical damage.
Mm.
But the radiant damage will burn all the way up. And as he goes to fall, I will grab him by the shoulder and hold him up and drop darkness, holding him up to the rest of the crew. Lay down your arms and do it now. Your captain is dead.
Go ahead and roll for intimidation with advantage, please.
Surely. Oh, I get a +9. I'm proficient in intimidation. So 21.
All of you would see that the sailors around you, these privateers, all eyes turn towards Proximus holding up the body, the limp body of their captain. And all of them immediately drop their weapons. And we are now out of initiative order.
I just look at the ones near me. I don't have to throw you over.
Yeah, the one in the water kind of looks up and goes, "What happened?" Winnie's still drowning a man, so that's happening.
I don't know that's happening.
Nobody knows that's happening.
Scarlet does.
Scarlet has a chance
Oh.
to save a man's life. Will she take it?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so we are out of combat. Proximus has gotten the entire, what is remaining of the crew, which I am going to kind of collect them here as they have surrendered. So you had 6 on board, 2 off. I guess Winnie kills a man. If no one's gonna stop Winnie, there's
Scarlet's
no reason.
not going to stop Winnie.
Okay, Winnie, I'm gonna have you roll a couple more strength checks
Okay.
because you got to hold this person down.
Okay. It's a 12 and an 11. Which is funny because I think
Okay.
the first one was 13, so that tracks.
So they rolled with disadvantage, and they got 1s. So I'm gonna say, especially with 1s, that critical failures, eventually the bubbles stop. Okay. Moving on then. After that.
Winnie will come back to the surface while little Jeffrey rifles through his pockets. Winnie would never.
Yep. So have little Jeffrey roll. Can little Jeffrey roll sleight of hand?
If anyone can, you think little Jeffrey couldn't?
I didn't know if little Jeffrey had stats for that, but I'm realizing now little Jeffrey should have a fully realized stat block. So yes, please have
he has
little Jeffrey.
like the he has a stat block, but he doesn't have like, you know.
Should have dexterity.
He has dexterity. He has a +2 in dexterity.
Does he have anything for sleight of hand?
Well, he doesn't.
Sometimes it will specify
Oh
there.
yeah,
like
he
if
has
he's
stealth of all things and perception. I guess because he's itty bitty.
He's
And
little.
perception, which is weird.
Good at looking.
Yeah. Okay.
So Jeffrey could have been like scouting this whole time.
That's kind of the intent of a homunculus, weirdly enough. They're meant to be used
He's
like
just a
familiars,
baby
where they
boy.
scout with them.
He
He's
just
Got
just
much to learn. It's fine.
It's like, I'll know everything I ever know at this current moment. I am only as smart as I will ever be. Jocelyn.
So what you're saying is he can't loot the dead.
He can loot the dead. I'm asking you to roll.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Does a homunculus have morals? This is the question of the session.
That's a 17
Only if you
on
install
the
them properly.
die.
Okay.
Just lost this thing. Yeah.
So Jeffrey would find this individual's cutlass at their belt, which is the equivalent of mundane scimitar. He would find a compass and probably some papers, which are getting increasingly damaged by being underwater, stuffed into one of the pockets. Jeffrey would also find a shark tooth necklace about this person's neck.
I think he would snarf up that stuff except for the cutlass because he's too little for a cutlass.
So he's eating it? Or he's taking it? You're using Smurf?
He's taking it.
Okay.
But
Alright.
I was thinking he could, like, hold the papers in his mouth because he doesn't have pockets. And he could, like, close his little Jeffrey mouth.
Duly noted. Okay. Acacia, are you going to bring the sailor you tossed overboard back on board?
He can climb up himself, but I'm not going to stop him.
Okay. We will place him with the others then. This person is dead, gone forever. I don't want to draw a card. I want to actually just stop it. Okay. I'll kill this person for you. So yes, you have the crew in front of you. The ship is still ablaze in several parts. But what would you all like to do?
Can I control water to make the fire goes out so we can salvage the ship somehow?
Yeah.
I would like
Yeah,
to
you
assist
can-
in putting out fires.
Okay. So yes, over the course of a couple of minutes, you were able to snuff all of the fires out. Not sure if you're even still looking at this map, but hey, just for me, I'm gonna press delete on all these fires. Okay. Great. You have 7 sailors before you. And you have a pretty charred but still buoyant warship.
Without sails.
Without sails.
Or with very
Buoyant,
tattered sails.
Yes. Definitely not. It could move through the water by paddle, which warships sometimes have aboard to make sure they don't get caught in doldrums. There may well be extra sails below. You all know that on the Innocents, you keep extra sails in the hold. Actually, I'm going to add a couple more sailors because there probably would have been people below decks.
I was just going to say,
so...
Winnie would like to scout below decks and just make sure there's no big surprises down there, like...
Were sharks.
Check for loot.
Proximus would go down with him.
Check for loot.
Yeah.
Steal
Also,
shit.
if there's a brig, Winnie
We're
would check
taking the
that
whole
out.
boat.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Are we going to start building a fleet?
We are going to build a fleet.
This is like somebody going like, open the treasure chest. We're taking the chest. Part of it.
Look for anything good then.
We can get rid of the keelboats now. We have a big ship.
Well, like, maybe we could still drag
We
the
should
keelboats
definitely
because-
keep those also.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but like keep them, but then people don't need to be on them.
On
Right.
them.
Little safer.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're a little safer.
Be
being
safer on
the-
this, yeah, for sure.
On a larger ship, yeah.
Also, one of them I think is definitely taking on water.
Oh, one of the
think so.
keelboats.
Acacia's
Yeah, the
probably
keelboats.
acacia-sized again. At this
Yeah, I'm
point.
acacia size now.
Can I look for a piece of white fabric that is big enough to be a flag?
Sure. Yeah.
Good call.
We'll say that there's a tatter of sail that kind of like is charred on the ends, but absolutely is just kind of hanging on. You can rip that off. And are you replacing
Surrender
the
flag.
Nerian flag? Yeah. Okay.
So the redemption will come back.
Okay. And yeah, after some time, you do see the ships begin to make their 17-point turn. It's hard. Like, you don't want to
Yeah.
jackknife all the boats into each other, all the keel boats, because they all are tied together. So it takes a little while to kind of wrap around. But yes, eventually you do see them heading towards you. Winnie, how are you dealing with your murder?
Pretty
Is
okay
anybody
at the
telling Winnie?
moment. It's still like there was a lot going on all at the same time, and Winnie was just doing her part.
Winnie was doing absolutely
She
just
doesn't have a
following
watch.
orders.
Who's to say if it was before or after the surrender? He didn't surrender.
So Jeffrey is buzzing above the heads of all of the pirates, the privateers. So you have but so you have 15 sailors in total who survived the assault. You absolutely can search around. Kind of tell me where you're searching, what you're looking for, if you're looking for anything. But yeah, just I'll kind of give you. You have a lot of the same places that your ship had, the below decks and all that. You have this raised area on the quarterdeck as well. So the captain's cabin is actually beneath this area here, where the helm is, and then you have additional area even beneath the quarterdeck there. You have the area beneath the forecastle towards the stern, and then you have all of the below decks as well. And there's two. There's the single layer below decks, and then there's the hold beneath that. So where are you looking? What are you looking for?
I hold up Brindle to Winnie. Winnie, I know you like to search for things.
I think you found him.
I hold him up. Yeah, well, I was just wondering if you would like to pickpocket him. And then I grab like his arm, like he's trying to. No? Okay. And then I just
wave with it. Are you?
Yeah. Like he's. Are you
wicked at burning my pirate?
I am. I lean him over the railing up on the.
Yeah, pop some sunglasses on him. Yeah, go ahead and rob the dead, Winnie.
I check him. Does he have anything on him?
Yes. So Brindle Kane, go ahead and roll for sleight of hand. There's a couple of things that are obvious. A couple of things you might find.
I don't think I'm very proficient in this one, so I will guide myself.
Just pumping yourself up. You can do this. Rob this corpse.
16. I got this. Oh, actually, that's not bad. 18.
Yeah. Okay. So as you, the obvious things are the weapons, right? So he has a pretty decent looking weapon, pretty decent looking sword. It's silvered, which you find to be interesting, considering this is a shifter, and silver typically is something they try to avoid. It has no other necessarily magical qualities to it besides that. The blunderbuss is definitely something you would note, and seems to have like a different make to it, like a different level of metal to a lot of things on the ship, a lot of things in Brindle's, in Kane's kind of own inventory. Other things you find 50 gold coins in a bag at his hip. You can also find in the inside of one of his coat pockets, you find a series of correspondence that all of them have different like wax seals on them. A couple of them being the Nerian Empire's seal that you've seen before, and a couple of them being some you might not recognize. Besides that, he's wearing a type of leather armor. I wouldn't say there's anything else besides, the clothes that he would have on him. There's the bow, of course. It is a very nice long bow, and the arrows as well. But they both seem to be mundane as far as you can tell. Okay. Acacia, what are you doing?
Honestly, just probably walking around intimidatingly.
And
just keeping an eye. Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye.
Snarling at him.
I'm not snarling. I'm just. Acacia doesn't snarl.
Jeffrey's snarling.
Which is just really comical. Like, I'm imagining her walking around and he's like following her, just like, Jocelyn.
Yeah. The thing is, it's like a sound box, so it's the same snarl every time. It's like, it's literally just a sound bit.
I like to imagine it's like Winnie recorded all of the sound bits. Though.
Yeah. It's absolutely Winnie going like, "Rawr!" That was really good, Jeffrey. Beep, rawr!
Yeah, fucking reverb, so it's deeper.
Yeah.
But Winnie would totally do it.
She would.
Is this thing on? Rawr!
Is this thing on?
Test.
Rawr!
Wait, can we get like behind the scenes Winnie footage to be or like audio recordings for like our break.
Yes.
Patreon.
Yes. Oh gosh.
No, that's so funny. I'm sorry.
Winnie's
sorry.
log. Stardate. No, wait, that's not right. Logs are funny, right? Like they're trees. Am I inside of a tree? Are ships trees? No.
She does
Anyway.
have like a science
Yes.
show theme song. So
Oh my god.
Winnie's opening song almost was like a Bill Nye-esque, like the marvels of the known world kind of music. I loved it very much. It had like this great lilt to it that I just could see like a comet, like very PBS-esque comet shooting past the planet Earth. And we didn't go with that one, but
Okay.
I'll always accept that.
I'm walking around intimidatingly, just keeping an eye on crew, because they don't want to mess with a big centaur. But yes, would you like me to roll intimidation?
Please.
I could do that. D20 tells me I got a 7.
7. Okay.
So I'm just walking around.
Yeah, just trotting here and there. With a 7, like you kick one of the boxes, and it's completely by accident, like you kind of trip over them, but you do like try to regain your balance and like kick it again on purpose.
It's fine.
There's a couple of them are like kind of like give you a side eye, like this person's deal. Okay.
Then they get the glowing hands, just like, you want to say that again?
Yeah, that absolutely does it. So you've got a mixture of crew of there's humans, like I said, there was a hobgoblin or two, a couple of half elves, a couple dwarves as well. Nothing that would be considered like as a monstrous race necessarily. More of your like standard run-of-the-mill kind of races. There's half orc in there as well, who's one of the larger individuals, but it is majority humans. Okay, Scarlet, what are you up to?
I want to look to see if there's extra sails.
Yeah. I might tie this in with Winnie, depending on what Winnie's doing. Winnie, what are you up to?
okay, Winnie had good intentions. She was gonna go down below decks. But there's that captain's cabin door.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta know what's behind doors. So, Winnie's first stop. Actually, while everyone's getting like arranged, she would. Is anything from Jeffrey legible that he recovered? The papers?
Yeah, I mean the ink is definitely running on it. You know, the papers are sticking together, but they still like you can carefully kind of piece them apart. And what you're mostly getting is correspondence from seemingly the last time that this person was in port. There's writing at least of you said to find you in Shacklebreak. So this is where I sent the letters to. The family seems to be doing well. You know, hope the high seas are treating you fine. As far as that, and it puts problem in like quotations that you had earlier. Don't worry, it's been taken care of. Family almost like seems like italicized as well. You can roll for insight if you want to try to figure out what these letters might be.
Oh. Did you eat my D20, you awful cat? What was it, insight?
Well, shake the cat.
Ida did nothing wrong.
She
She's
did.
perfect.
13.
You'll get it back later.
Winnie,
Cool. Love that.
13. You don't recognize the name is a little too smudged from who was writing. But this doesn't read like, hey, this is a cousin or a brother or, you know, a blood relation. This is more like organized crime-esque.
Cool.
Yeah, and seems to have been delivered from somewhere in the Nerean Empire.
She's gonna hang on to that just in case she can dry it out and read more later. And then, yeah, her attention is going to be drawn by the captain's door. And then she would go
Okay.
downstairs. But like the captain's quarter is just right there, you know? And
So Scarlet, first with you going to find the sails. You go below decks. As you know, even as you're going to go down, this is before like the sailors are really coming up. So it's after they've all kind of been collected. You kind of figured that the below decks have kind of, you know, been emptied. You go to the first level below decks, and the cannonade, the artillery is just lined up, all 4 cannons. You know, several of them with some damage. You know, one of them has clearly taken some acid damage, which is almost like melted part of the mouth of the cannon. You know, several others have like that force damage, these dents in them from your eldritch blasts. And really the only light down here comes from a couple of lanterns from above and the light that's streaming in from the gun ports. You don't really see anything at this level. You can see what you assume to be the infirmary, maybe a hold area at one end, and then there is another kind of staircase that leads further down into the hold proper, the bottom level of the ship. And that's where you reason if you're gonna find sails, that's where they're going to be. So as you continue down, again, it's pretty dark down here. You do have dark vision. You can make out that this ship recently made port. You know, by your reasoning skills, it is loaded to the gills, essentially, of stores, of food, also of things that aren't necessarily like, oh, this is like, you know, something we would need to have at sea. It seems to have quite a bit of swag on board. This ship in particular, robbed, pirated, or was paid off. There are several chests that seem to have what you can tell just by like the markings of these chests. This isn't like, you know, you put average goods in this. This is to hold some type of currency or wealth that they might use. You can see also that there are a couple of longboats down here. Several, you know, this is where obviously it's the hold. There are extra sails. There's rope, chain, anything you might need to repair the ship as well. Extra boards, lumber, and you can see the brig as well.
I take it I can't take the sails myself because they're very large and very heavy, but I at least know they're there and can make people come back down and get them.
You have
I would say you would need help, yes.
You have a strong horse and a strong Triton. And I also I can drag
and
more.
Winnie, I guess.
And Winnie. But Winnie has what?
And
Strength
15
12?
of the crew that used to be working. Like,
True.
Yeah, but I don't know if I necessarily trust
put
them.
them to work.
I trust them to put the sails up, but I don't want them to. I don't want them anywhere near the chests of things.
Yeah, true.
Acacia ended up with the belt, right?
I
Oh,
did.
yeah.
So I got a 21 strength now.
She
Compared
got-
to my 12 previously.
It was 12 before?
Yeah, you didn't know I had a 12 strength?
No.
And you were drawing me with these buff arms?
I know. She was
I'm
like,
just really
creatine,
toned.
bro.
I'm toned.
I will
My bad.
happily go tell.
It's okay.
I will happily go back to our group and ask Acacia and Proximus for help. And once we get them on deck with the other crewmen can take over.
Yeah, no problem.
Acacia, along with some of the crew, begin to go below decks. Everybody is unarmed at this point.
Does it
So it
look
would- it
like
would have
they
to be-
have
Yeah.
Nerian Empire uniforms on?
No, they're flying the flag, but these are dressed just the same as a lot of your crew members are. It's kind of just the clothing that they have, a lot of white linens, cottons, leathers, things like that. But these are not uniforms. These absolutely were pirates who just got a little fancy with the new flag.
It's
So
not their fault.
Yeah, I'm like, they might not even have wanted to work for this guy, right?
We'll find out.
Oh, sure, when Proximus has that idea, makes sense. When Winnie has that idea, no, they're bad people. Just kill them. It doesn't matter. I see how it is. I see.
I did an ocular assessment of them, and the ones that you killed were bad guys.
Oh, good. Okay.
But I did find these letters on the captain. And I'm going to hand the letters, the correspondence over to Winnie. And then, yeah, we can totally head down, grab those sails.
Okay. So, Winnie, you get the correspondence before you head into the captain's cabin. We're going to have you entering the captain's cabin.
Okay.
So, the door opens easily. It was not locked. And there's light that's streaming in from windows. You can see that there's windows on both sides. There's a window that's kind of coming from the back as well. It is stained glass. And so there's like this vibrant color that kind of hits your eyes first. That is only blocked by a single figure that your eyes have to adjust to see. And they're standing with a table between the two of you. And you can see absolutely that this is a captain's quarters. As your eyes dart quickly around, there is a desk at the far end. There is a bed to the side. There are some cases which you think traditionally would have books. It doesn't seem like Brindle Kane was necessarily a reader. The light that comes from behind the stained glass, also there's an additional light coming from this individual. You can see that they have this kind of longer swept back hair and a beard which kind of comes down to their clavicle, but their hair themselves as well as the eyes seem to give out this light like cinders in coals. And they look up at you as you open the door. So, are you the other captain then?
Oh, hi. I'm Winnie. I am more like a, potential first mate. Who might you
This is
be?
appropriate then. And without answering you, it begins to walk over to you and is drawing a sword from his side. And walks right up to you and presents it with both hands. My name is Marcus Ash. I was the first mate of the Bloodhound. From first mate to first mate, all of this, is yours. And he presents the sword over to you.
Thank you for making this reasonable.
A reasonable thing to do in an unreasonable time.
Can I ask you a question?
It is your ship. You may do whatever you like.
Okay, so I knew Brindle Kane. Do I recognize Marcus Ash? By name or whatever?
Roll for history.
I can do that 9 times. Oh, God, I can do that 9
You only
times.
have to do it once.
It's a 14.
With a 14, you might have heard, like, Brindle Kane was not, like, your gold star top tier pirate, right? Brindle Kane was, like, trying to make a name for himself. The Bloodhound was kind of like, oh, yeah, we get it. But Brindle Kane never really was, like, one of the top pirates on the ocean as far as, really bringing back the kind of swag that would make a name for himself, or taking the kind of ships that would make a name for himself. He was really building a reputation. So you might have just heard like, oh yeah, no, I heard he's got, a fire genasi that he's brought on as a first mate. But you would probably not recognize the name Marcus Ash.
And in no way related to Eula's crew, no way.
No, because the Bloodhound was more connected to Ogden and sailed out of Shacklebreak.
Yeah.
So this was not part of Eula's navy.
Then No, I still have a question. How long, have you been flying the Nerian Empire flag? And maybe why? Because it seems sort of antithetical to, the Bloodhound.
Fair questions, and easily enough to answer. We've been flying the Nerian flag for almost 3 weeks now. And why is survival. Simple as that. The Empire offered us the opportunity to continue our life as it was, and to not have to worry about their ships coming after us. Not much difference, steady income, even take out some competition while we're at it.
Were you going anywhere?
Why? Who? Yes and no. I'm sorry, Winnie. I'm maybe your prisoner, but I'm not going to tell you everything.
That's okay. I understand. Well, she's gonna step to the side, sort of, so that she's not blocking the door. I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a pleasant as it can be captivity.
I have your leave then?
Yeah, I mean, to go to the deck. With everyone else. If you could stay on the ship, that'd be super nice.
Everything you're doing is so confusing to this person. Like these kind of like arched, flaming brows. Like their hair almost looks like this mixture of this gray ash and this living flame, with kind of like the coloration, like shifting and glowing at certain points. And every time you say something, like the brow just furrows closer together. And he just looks at you and goes, by your leave then. And he steps out onto the deck and will join the rest of his crew at the head of their little group here.
Wait, did everyone else go below deck? Because Winnie's not gonna leave.
So you had Proximus and Acacia, I know at least went below deck, along with, you'd probably need about 5 of these individuals to go below deck with you as well. Did Scarlet stay up top, or did Scarlet go down?
Scarlet's back at the top.
Okay. So you have Scarlet standing up top along with Jeffrey.
Okay. Then, I love him. Jeffrey is not, like, a good solo guard.
But what if he was giant?
I would need, first of all, I don't think he can take any potions. But we will experiment with that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Add it to the list.
Winnie will poke her head back out of the cabin and call up to Scarlet to just say, like, okay, one more coming. Please be nice. Be right back. Jeffrey, you got this. And then she's gonna do the.
And Jeffrey just looks up and nods and starts just like metal clanking as their hand.
Yeah. And then she'll go back into she's gonna leave the door open, but she's just gonna take a quick scan of the room to see if there's anything on the table or anything.
Yeah, so, I mean, several papers on the table. A map is drawn out on the table as well. I mean, a map is laid out on the table, not drawn on the table. I mean, there's a chest in the corner. Seems to be several barrels of something, which have occupied the bookshelves. some vials that you might determine to be different types of potions, perhaps. This is definitely like you've seen Connery's cabin. Because Callisto didn't really use one. Connery keeps things tidy, simple but tidy. Kane, like, just tore the shit out of this place. I mean, there are like panes missing out of the stained glass window. I mean, like the curtains are torn in some places. It smells in here. Yeah, Brindle Kane was not the most cleanly of occupants, it seems. The bed's not made. Ugh.
That's gross. Yeah, if there's nothing really like.
So if I were to give you like you walk into a room in one of those like 32-bit games and like there's only certain things that are highlighted, like an old Disney movie, and you can tell what brick they're going to pull out because it's like outlined. That would probably be if you want to check out the barrels, the chest, or what is on the table where Ash was standing.
I would like to. Winnie's gonna peek at the chest and just see if it has like traps that Winnie can see, just because she doesn't trust but verify. And also, little Jeffrey is going to pick Marcus's pockets.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for Jeffrey to pickpocket. Roll for sleight of hand for Jeffrey. And then go ahead and roll for investigation for yourself with the chest.
Okay, 19. Investigation. 11. 16. That's not fair. There's something wrong with that.
So you at least determined that there's no obvious traps on this chest. It's not even like really fully set against the wall. It's probably just where Brindle Kane kept their personal items that they weren't wearing at the time. I need to see if Jeffrey was successful, because Marcus is not just letting anybody go through like his pockets. There's a level of I want to say like
even if little Jeffrey like flies up to him with his like little Jeffrey arms out saying, "I love you, uppies." Okay, just checking.
No.
I'd hug him.
Okay.
I'd let him go through my pockets.
You were able to go through Brindle Kane's pockets. You already disarmed this individual. Jeffrey might notice that there is like a small dagger still like on the very back, at the small of this person's back. Jeffrey would be able to slide that out of its sheath pretty quietly, and would also take a bag of 10 gold coins.
Okay. And then the last thing Winnie's going to do for right now, and we can switch back over to something else unless she dies, is to just see what's in this chest for the moment.
Sorry, it was me that said, okay, you open the chest.
I was so terrified you were going to say, okay, she died.
It's a mimic. You open the chest and it creaks open with a lot of dust. You can tell this hasn't been opened for a while. You can see that there is at least 2 bottles of what you determine to be very high-end liquor of some sort. The language is in one that Winnie does not know. And there's a couple of, kind of like finer pieces of clothing. There's another like smaller kind of like lockbox inside that is not locked. And as you open it up, has say, we should roll a D100 for this. Since you're looking, since you all are
promising or terrifying,
looting. Has to be this way. Okay. You get 80 additional gold coins out of that. Okay, so the rest of you by this point have brought the sails up to the top deck. The sailors that you have allowed to work are working to get these new sails installed. It is only a short time as you look out to see the Innocence is coming closer. You kind of realize that it's not going to be able to dock side by side because of the ships in tow. So they're probably going to send a launch to come over to you, but they will get close enough that you could probably yell back and forth.
You just imagine Scarlett and Connor yelling back and forth to one another.
What happened?
Wait, do you have thaumaturgy though?
I do.
Okay, it's better.
There you go.
You don't even need to yell.
So does Connery, actually.
But will they use it? We'll find out.
Okay. So Scarlett, yes, since you were up on the top deck anyway, you do notice Marcus Ash, who definitely stands out amongst the others, is dressed somewhat nicer as well. It has more of like a leather vest, rolled up sleeves, and even like the skin has this like almost charred wood look to it. So there's like this darker gray kind of to it with these little cracks where this light peeks out. Almost like where like veins would be. You can see that there's like light emitting from there. Okay, and the rest of you would see Marcus has joined everyone else as well. What is everybody doing?
Pickpocketing Acacia.
Okay, let's go. Let's do it. Let's fucking go. Okay.
This is how we end off every session from now on.
Listen, she can do it if she wants. All right, so I'll roll perception. You roll the pickpocket, and
It was a 17.
Okay, let's see what we got. Hold on.
How does it be passive?
I got over 20.
Yeah.
I just give you a like wry smile as like you're trying to pickpocket me, but I grab your wrist or like
into
just
a hug.
I block you, and I'm like,
Yes.
good try, but you probably should go for a more of a blind spot next time.
Okay, good tip.
Did
I'll work on it.
Did any of the other Eve Walkers steal anything from you yet? Have you replenished your coin?
Yeah, it went missing once. I think I've not been notified if anyone else has stolen from me, but I think it was just once. But I
Derek,
got one. I got Valerie.
Good. Don't do it on
Edgar. No.
No, don't.
No, he's
Yeah, he's gonna.
terrifying.
I
Edgar
won't
will
even
end
steal
you.
from Edgar.
Go ahead and roll for perception. I am going to see if perhaps
Oh no.
A previous check.
we'll do a bleeds in the dark thing and we'll do a flashback here.
25.
Okay. So okay.
I at least feel good about it if they did get me.
You have not been gotten.
Yes.
Cool.
All right. So with that, you all have essentially a new ship. Sails are being fixed. These definitely are a little bit rougher, but will do the job. Has anyone lowered the anchor?
Sure haven't.
Oh.
I thought they
We're adding
did.
sails, just a suggestion.
I thought they did too, actually.
Yeah, last session I thought they dropped anchor.
Or did
To
they just
stay put.
turn?
I think they used their momentum to turn. We'll say, you know what? I think that makes sense that they wouldn't want to drift while they were shooting cannons. We'll say they dropped anchor. I think
Okay.
that makes sense.
Cool.
So yes, you are not moving as the sails are being added. You at least will have the 3 primary sails that you need. You begin to see that the launch is sent over from the Innocence. Sammy is actually flying above, but Connery does not seem to be aboard. You can see that Constance is coming across. Sammy is flying above, and a small contingent of armed sailors that you have. And some time goes by as they row their way over. Sammy actually lands earlier. Well, seems like things went well.
We're all alive.
And we have a ship.
You certainly did. You're proper pirates, you are.
God, that feels like such a weird term to apply to me, but I guess you're right.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. Part of the life now. No looking back unless you want to.
What is a pirate but just a wet thief anyway? It's fine.
A soggy thief indeed. Got that stitched on a pillow, I do. Anyway. Realising I went a little more Irish than I did Kiwi on that last one, but here we are.
How are the refugees that were with the keel boats that were hit?
As far as we can tell, all survived the attack. The keel boats, a little rough away, but should be able to limp their way to Umberlee's Eye. And with this ship especially, if they are willing to come over and share some space, it should be much easier.
Oh, speaking of, and I'll just kind of like yell over to one of the crew that was technically now under our flag. Hey you.
Yeah?
Did you come from Shacklebreak?
Originally?
Just recently?
No.
Recently.
His eyes are like darting to Marcus Kane, who just like, or Marcus Ash, I'm sorry, Marcus Ash, not Brindle Kane, who just gives him like a little nod and goes, maybe.
What's going on over there?
Not
Is it
much
safe
now.
for refugees? Or no? I'm going to assume no.
You would look over and see that like the smoke is still billowing in like this large plume from Shacklebreak, and he goes,
okay, I couldn't remember if I don't remember if smoke was mentioned last session. That's why.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I believe it was, but just to be safe, you are close enough to see the island of Shacklebreak, and it almost looks like a volcano in the sense like with the smoke that is pluming from it.
Then in that case, I don't ask if it's safe for refugees. I just ask if it's what the hell went on.
They didn't want to take a deal. They did eventually. And you kind of see like there's a couple of smirks from a few of the crew when he says that.
Did it really matter?
He just shrugs.
And I'll turn back to the group. All right. So I guess we're going to just keep going on then.
And you can see that Sammy is looking around at some of the damages to the ship, especially where the fire is. Sammy being the bosun, at least. Well, she is salvageable. Buoyant, at least, which is nice. The good thing you're getting these new sails up. I would not stand there, or there, or there. Basically, I would not stand on the forecastle at all. That is absolutely going to collapse.
Great.
Can we get it moving though, Sammy?
Sure. Once these sails are installed, I don't see any reason why. And even if they weren't, we could just hook up another tow line. Slow down the innocence a bit, but not too terribly much.
So the next question is, who's staying over here? All of us? What are we doing? And this is directed to Winnie, Scarlet, and Proximus.
I really think that's going to be up to Connery. Technically the captain of the other ship.
Yeah.
Technically, Connery did not take this ship. He has no real claim over it. Also, you're the owner of the Innocents. He's just the captain. He's going to stay over there.
Redemption. You said
the redemption. I did.
It's okay.
I've been doing notes on season 1.
It's okay.
Yes, the redemption. I apologize if I did that earlier. Sorry, that's also a Sammy problem because I'm getting used to the new name. See, it was a character choice. I didn't mess up at all.
Nope, it's fine.
Yeah, so he kind of looks to the four of you. You are one of you is going to have to captain this ship or appoint a captain. And he kind of looks over to the crew. Looks like most of the fight's taken out of them. I wouldn't worry about mutiny at this point. You already took out the captain.
Scarlet can't roll her eyes hard enough.
I can see that. You literally like throwing your head back when you do that.
Nose goes, I do not want to be captain.
I can do it.
You have the coat and everything.
I have the coat and everything.
I'll stay over here with you. I'll make sure that repairs get done and this thing stays afloat, but...
Scarlet,
Yes, Winnie.
remember, you catch more crabs with fresh fish than you do with rotting fish.
Are you saying she has bad breath?
Are you saying I smell bad, Winnie?
No, I'm saying sometimes you get a little mean. And like, you don't
I feel like
don't be
it's
a
just
pushover. It's just like,
using a firm hand.
Winnie.
sometimes it's really firm.
Proximus leans over to Scarlet and smells. Like a quick sniff.
Winnie, Scarlet being intimidating is a very good tactic.
Well,
Good
there's
guard, bad guard.
intimidating, and then there's being like,
That's where you come in. You're the good guard.
yes, I shall
Scarlet's
stay
the bad
here.
guard. It's good. It's abrasive
I
versus
will be the
friendly.
fresh fish. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway, weird metaphors all around. Honestly, what I was meant to say with the fact that they look beat, you have to understand that in the life, half of these fellas, and he's pointing at the regular crew, have served on 2 to 3 ships by the time that they hit the age of 30. Crews get traded around all the time. The only way they survive is by adapting to that sort of thing. So honestly, I don't think you have too much to worry about. Just don't push them too hard.
Does want to make a note of everyone who was like smirking at the whole like shadow break situation though.
Sure.
Proximus walks over to Marcus. You there?
Yeah, he's standing. The other ones are kind of like on their knees, like hands on their head, or at least just like by their sides. Marcus is still standing, and he looks towards you. Yes.
Why were you on the ship, but not on the deck, fighting against us?
I was fighting against you.
I did not see you.
Just because I wasn't wielding a blade doesn't mean I wasn't fighting.
Interesting. So, who ordered this attack on us?
No one. You were in the wrong place at the wrong time. You were sailing towards Shacklebreak, which is the wrong place at this time.
So you were not sent directly to us?
No, you were what we thought would be an easy catch.
Has Scarlet's Shores ever been an easy catch?
And like the eyes kind of open a little bit, and he looks over to you. Thought your hair was red.
Things change.
So they do.
Are you willing to stay aboard, or do you want to be left off here?
I am willing to stay aboard if you all will have me. I am here to serve this ship first and foremost. I have always been a good first mate, but my primary goal is towards the crew and the ship first. Captains change. Captains don't run ships, you have to understand. They guide them.
Can I
Yeah, go ahead.
insight this?
Yeah.
Oh, nope. Acacia's distracted. Not one.
Okay. Yeah, this is maybe around the time that
Continue.
like when he's trying another pickpocketing. Like the
Yeah, I was gonna
like
say
Acacia's
Not the
100%
time,
is
Winnie.
on board with what he's saying. So like,
yeah, Acacia's
She's not
tail
gonna
just
say
like swishes in Winnie's face. It's like not again.
it stings.
Yeah, don't do that. Never sneak up on a horse, y'all.
My new headcanon is that Jeffrey can absolutely tell whether or not people are lying or telling the truth, but because he has like a limited voice reel, like he can't like
Not just
tell us. Yeah.
Yeah. It depends on which way he dabs. You know, is it to the left or to the right?
Right.
Winnie has no
Yeah.
idea, like he's gained sentience and just
But yeah, no, Marcus is like not staring you down. He's blinking, but there's definitely no level of intimidation to when you're talking to him.
No intimidation is necessary here. I want answers. Does your crew feel the same way that you do? And if there's anybody here, and he turns towards the rest of them, that wants off here, let us know now.
He kind of turns to look back at them and goes, I think if you're going to ask that question, you need to specify how they're going to leave the ship.
Oh, I
They've
think
been
they know
offered an
exactly
exit.
how they will leave the ship.
Listen,
But everybody can swim, right?
Proximus, we can take these people to Karina. We cannot just leave them in the middle of the ocean. Or
They were
take them to
planning on
But it's
leaving
very
us
not
exactly
nice.
where we were.
Knowing what I do about being a pirate and doing who employs you, sometimes you don't get a choice.
That's
You
why I
are-
give them the choice now.
I have done many of awful things in Eula's name. I'm sure these people have done many of awful things in the names of others. They deserve the choice to either serve us or get off at Karina.
And if there's no problems, there will be no problems when we get there.
If they cause problems, then they will have to report to me. I can
Your
find
captain
something
has
useful.
spoke. And I turn to the rest of them. Get to work.
and again, there's no nod from Marcus, but he does look back at them, and the eyes kind of look from him to you to Scarlet, and very slowly they begin to like stand up, almost like, oh, this guy's absolutely going to stab us. But then a couple of them start moving and going back to their duties. A couple of them are due, and very quickly, the others begin to join in, realizing that this isn't a trap.
Are
Marcus,
any of
I have one more question for you.
Go ahead.
I am at your service.
Were you hauling anything specifically?
That wasn't primarily our goal. We do have, as I'm sure you saw in the hold, a certain bounty forwarded to us by the Empire. It was supposed to get us through several months, just in case we didn't find anyone. We found you, unfortunately.
Or fortunately for your situation now?
Don't worry, the crew and yourself will still get paid.
There's a level of surprise on his face at that. Very well. I am here to be of service as best I can. If there's nothing further, I will join the crew. Congratulations, Captain. And he nods it at you, Scarlet. And then just kind of looks back at Proximus Blue and moves along.
Red.
Are you learning
And-
sarcasm?
Slowly but surely.
I do want to say...
okay, this is Acacia. This is Acacia.
I want to say Acacia has the passive perception for this. When they were like kind of close enough, there was literal steam from like the evaporation coming off of Proximus and like the heat coming off of Marcus.
I love this. I
Ship
love
it.
this Shanasi so much.
I know, me too. this is pretty badass. I like this guy.
Okay. Well, with folks, that's folks. Yes, Winnie. Yes.
Just like as the crew is like standing, some of them are wounded, right? No.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Just like as they get up and like are going to their stations or whatever, Winnie's just gonna do a little mass cure wounds on the like most injured of them, apparently.
Okay.
Injured. Yeah. And then she's going to what's the general crew complement for a ship this size?
Oh, what's the size of a crew it might have? Or are you saying what's the nicest thing to say to them?
Both.
I think the best compliment is nice aft. I thought that kind of worked.
I'm so upset right now.
So the max capacity is 40 crew with 60 passengers.
That's a
how many
lot.
does
Yeah.
it need? It doesn't have a minimum necessarily, unless it says it up here. Example crew.
Okay, well, so numbers-wise, size-wise, like, it is a difference between this and the Redemption, right?
Oh yeah, this is not significantly. This is like the next step larger of a ship. There is only one class of a ship that is larger than the one you are on.
Then once people have sort of separated, she's just gonna lean in close to Scarlet and hey, maybe we could ask Connery if any of the new sailing recruits from Soteria could come over and give us a little hand, like kind of mix and match sailors a little bit, or see if anyone from the keel boats wants to like stretch their legs and like do some work and like
I agree
make
on
some
both
money.
accounts.
I'm going
It's a
to talk
great
to
idea.
Connery about getting everyone off the keel boats onto either one of the ships.
As
And
many
just
as we
towing.
can, so
But also
Unless-
just like actively looking for people to
Yes.
help work on this ship.
It
We've
would
got
be
some
nice
resourceful
if-
people.
We do.
It would be nice as we get closer to any type of place that if they want to leave, they can use one of the kill boats too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would be able to comfortably empty 2 of the keel boats with the passenger capacity that the Bloodhound has.
okay.
And what about the Redemption?
So you have a current crew size of 10 people. You would be able to, or are you talking about moving people onto the Redemption or off of the
Mhm.
Redemption?
We already have people on the Redemption.
Yeah, you have 30 people
Like
currently
full.
on the Redemption.
Okay.
So you could empty one of the keel boats and the Redemption of extra passengers. If you wanted the Redemption to be like,
Full.
free of extra people. Or you can essentially just empty 2 of the keel boats.
Okay.
I think we should get people off the keel boats, especially the ones
Mhm.
that were damaged.
Yeah.
There's essentially right around 30 people, give or take, on each keel boat. They're kind of packed.
Can I pull Connery and station off the captain quarters to be for passengers also?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can open up. So I mean, it's has capacity for 60 people in the sense that it's like there is intentional room for 60 passengers.
Mm-hmm.
And then yes, you could absolutely overload it and take up the crew quarters with passengers as well.
Okey-doke.
Okay. So with that, congratulations to the owners of a new ship. You also may rename it and all sorts of those things.
Yes, let's rename
The
it.
Bloodhound
Heck
is a
yeah.
cool name, though.
It is.
Yeah.
But
What does the stained
change.
glass look like, or is it just like random stained glass?
It has the the cresting of a sun, with the panes that kind of remain. So it's whether it's a setting sun or a rising sun. It kind of depends, but the sun itself is this very like there's these deep pinks and purples and yellows, so you kind of like get like that as part of the night sky, and then this waveform of like where the black metal kind of comes in with blue at the bottom.
I just thought of a really cool name that I don't know. I'm pulling stuff out of my ass. The Twilight Sun.
Twilight Sun.
Oh.
Yep. Actually, for a second, I was going to make Marcus a Dampier, which is why he was going to be under this. So the Twilight Sun. He's not. Okay.
That is my vote.
Yeah.
He's a werewolf, though, so at least there's that. I guess it kind of is Twilight.
Fire Genasi werewolf.
No, he's not. He's not. I was going to say
Brindle Kane. I thought you.
Brindle Kane was a ship.
Oh, Brindle
Brindle
Kane.
Kane.
Right.
Okay. Well, that makes more sense with the Bloodhound then.
I was also like,
it's and the wolf on the front. It's all very self-referential. Yes, Bodie McBoatface. Bodie McBoatface 2. Bodie's Revenge.
Yes.
Or for pirates, Booty McBootface. Yes, okay. That's it. We're ending the show. God damn it. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for sticking around as long as you did. This has been an absolute fun time. A couple of things to note. First of all, if you appreciated this cast, if you appreciate the game that we do, please donate to our Pally. It's a great website that doesn't take all that Twitch takes out of stuff, and also evenly distributes, without us having to do math, the whatever you donate between this cast. It shows them a little bit of how much you appreciate them, and again, we don't get the middleman of Twitch. It's just the middleman of Pally, which is significantly better. So that's a great way to support us, support the channel, and as always, you can directly impact the game if you do that, like off stream, and you're like, hey, I gave $5. I don't message me. Message our Twitter. I will add an advantage or whatever else. If you want to add a black spot, you put $30. Don't worry, I got you. Other things.
All be
Just put it in the Pally
creatures.
notes. We'll see it.
Yeah, put it in the Pally notes, please and thank you. And we appreciate you just watching. Honestly, that is always going to be enough. Viewership is why we do this. It's to tell stories that other people can listen in and appreciate. Otherwise we do this offline and be a home game. Okay, other stuff. We are going to be off next week for the holidays, as well as the 3rd, because my parents are coming into town. So we'll take a couple of weeks off, have a nice little mini break. We'll go back the 10th with the Proximus prequel. So definitely get ready for that. We've got a great cast set up for it. Some great characters already. It will be some new faces, at least to the channel. Some faces which might be sticking around for a couple of 2 shots here and there. But definitely people we love playing with. So get excited for that. The Proximus prequel. The subtitle of it is "In the Belly of the Beast." Who knows what that means? Other things. Is there anything else? While I'm thinking about this, because we've got stuff going on tomorrow on that, I'm going to have these people tell you a little bit about themselves, where you can find them. While they're doing that, we'll just ask and figure out what else I need to say. So, Mare, if you don't mind starting out.
Hi, I'm Mare. You can find me on Twitter at Archmage of Dice. I'm only in this game right now, but I'm also in a game of Avatar Legends called Smoke and Ashes on Valdrian's channel that airs every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We have 2 more sessions left of Season 1, and if schedules allow, we might actually have a Season 2 next year, so please come join us. It's going to be thrilling. I also have my Invisible Sun casting call being run on this channel. It's a couple days. I can't remember if I said it's closing Sunday or Monday in the application, but please go check that out. Just check out the Sword and Key Twitter. It'll be quicker to find on there. But I am also I'm running a fundraising auction for a friend of mine named Taldoz, who is in a financial hardship right now. So we will be giving away gift baskets. A bunch of GMs have donated their time to be bid on to run one-shots for people. I have linked the tweet in chat right now where there's a little bit of information that is going to run from November 30th to December 3rd, starting and ending at 12 p.m. Pacific. More information to come after I clean up a couple things. If anyone needs access to the Discord server that it will be in, please message, if I may, Derek and Eva, please message the Sword and Key Twitter for me right now. My DMs are currently closed, but they will relay the information to me. Or just at me on Twitter and I'll note you down and I'll send you a message later.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Mayor.
One of those
and yes.
GMs is myself and another one is Derek.
It's true.
And Michael might have donated some art, custom art commission. Like if you want to see our full scale, if you want your own full scale, like 5 full body and facial expression pages.
Yeah, Taldoz is a good person. We've kind of always been in similar circles. I think all of us have interacted with Taldoz, whether directly or indirectly. So definitely support them. They're really going through a hard time right now, which time's tough. Thank you, Mayor. And yes, absolutely, like Mayor said, their DMs are closed, but you can absolutely reach out through Sword and Key Twitter, Sword and Key with underscores in between each word to contact them directly, or like I said, at them. Thank you, Mayor. Okay, Michael.
Hi, fam. I'm Michael. You can find me at Michael Sandoval on Instagram and Twitter. Probably not on Twitter for very much longer, honestly. But it is what it is, right? Like, I'm right here every Saturday. This is the only game I play in on Sword and Key, and I love this cast so much. I appreciate you all and love you. Have a good night.
There's always a special thank you to Michael for doing the incredible art. Like Mayor said, Michael has previously donated some art. But yeah, all the art that you see pretty much on every Sword and Key show that we have had so far has been created by Michael in his free time, and it's just, we appreciate it so much. It's honestly phenomenal. I'm always in awe of it. So
my art is my love language, and I love you all.
That's beautiful, actually. Okay, Kaila.
Hello, I'm Kaila. Many faces in many places in TTRPG Realm, except this is technically my only game right now. You can find me on my own channel where we paint things. Currently, we're painting through a Hall of Dragons. I just finished another one today. Everything like this is in prep for a separate auction that's happening after the one for Tal. It'll be happening the first full week of December. We'll be auctioning off 6 dragons, a few bust models, a few other smaller miniature models, a few rocky dragons that are smaller. I did just finish some dragons, but let me grab the other ones because they're right here. These are the 3 that are completed currently. So, you know.
Kaila, that sunset one.
Yeah, it's based off of the unlabeled pride flag.
Guess who's gonna be bidding on that one?
So all of these are completed. They are good for the auction. So after the auction for Tal is completed, more details about mine will be going out. But if you like dragons, I would not miss them because I don't paint dragons the same way more than once because it's just not how I do things. So, yeah. Hello, Ida.
This little flitting. Eva.
I'm sorry, she came up and I couldn't help it. Hi, I'm Eva. Eva with a V. This is Ida with a D.
You almost said the cat's name. Yeah.
It's fine. Edalyn. I am, yes, one half of Sword and Key. Excited about our upcoming schedules. We'll be casting for more things once we have some other things in order, but we are excited to be bringing you all sorts of good and interesting games with good and interesting people. What was I going to say? You can find me on Twitter at the Eva Serrate. And if that goes down, I know my DMs are sort of not really loading at this point. I am the Eva Serrate or Eva Serrate, like pretty much anywhere else except Mastodon, which I will not be joining because I am too old to learn that particular new trick. So, yeah, that's, you can find me on Tumblr, TikTok. I don't post anything.
Wait, you're on Tumblr?
I am. Oh yeah, we're not. Yeah, I just rebranded. I was on Tumblr a million years ago and just recently rebranded to be Eviscerate.
Okay.
So I now follow things that are not just Dragon Age fan accounts or art accounts. So
You're still
I
valid.
mean, why even bother? You know.
I know if I don't follow you now, I probably will soon. Yeah, that's it. Derek, are you gonna do the game announcements?
I will.
Thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
so that's it for me. Oh, and we will be rating Okay Katie May after this, so stick around for that.
Fantastic. I'm gonna turn this music off. There we go. Hi everybody, I'm Derek Sword. Yes, Sword is my real last name. Yes, it is awesome. No, you can't have it. Unless you ask really nicely. I'm mostly on Twitter because I'm gonna dido the shit out of this and I am gonna go down with this ship. I won't put my arms up and surrender. There will be no white flag with this door. Okay. But no, I honestly, Twitter is honestly the best site for like sharing the stuff that I like to share. I am on Tumblr and Instagram and all this stuff. It's mostly DSword16. Same as my Twitter. Instagram is not that, but that's also fine. There's one for my dogs. See if you can find it. Sword and Key is everywhere. In fact, even TikTok, it exists. For the most part, it is Sword and Key with underscores separating each word. That's what it is for Twitter. I think it's that for TikTok and Tumblr. And if it's not underscores, it's dashes. That's really the only difference. You can always email us at swordandkeyproductions@gmail. Yeah, this is Sword and Key is my baby right now. So please go follow that. We have a bunch of games coming out soon. We, of course, have Mayor's game, which form closes tomorrow. Apply.
Is it tomorrow? I thought I swear I put it as Monday. And
I
that's
thought
the
it was
other ones
20th.
I'll check.
Okay. I had the 20th written down. Mayor will close the form soon. But please apply if you want to play Invisible Sun. Invisible Sun is a fantastic surreal game where you use a Sooth deck as your point of randomness and variable. It's so wonderful. Also, we have tomorrow, we have our first game of Mothership, which is GM'd by the phenomenal Anik. So Veasan is taking some time off for a little bit. But yes, Mothership is a sci-fi game that's kind of like in the same vein as like the Alien movies. So like grungy deep space, capitalism, people overworked, like basically long haul, truck drivers, but in space. It's very spooky, it's very unsettling, and we have a great cast for that. That will be a 2-shot, so that'll be next weekend and the following Sunday. After that, we have Trophy Dark, which Anik is also running because they are the master of horror. And Trophy Dark is a great game that gives you, like as the game goes on, additional spooky penalties are kind of added as you reach different chapters of the story. I believe that game will be forest insect themed, which is great because trypophobia is super fun. That it will be December 11th and 18th. So they're all Sundays. They're all taking that same time slot that Veasan had, that 10 a.m. Pacific time slot. So definitely check those out. They will be very fun. There will be some new faces on the channel, some faces you might have seen in chat tonight, but all great people all around, and more to come. We have more games, lots more games planned. I'm going to say it right now. I am planning a Humblewood game that will cater more to people in the European time zones. So that we can look forward to that in the upcoming months. I'm probably planning that for early next year. I have a horror campaign, a monster hunting campaign that I want to run, and lots more stuff. So plenty more coming down the pipeline at you. Keep your eyes and ears open. And I don't think Twitter is going anywhere because I just don't. So yeah. Anyway, that's it, everybody. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, as a thank you from me, from Sword and Key. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for being awesome. Thanks for being a friend. Fair winds and following sails. No.
Bye.
Fair winds and following seas, brave mariners. We'll see you in 3 weeks.
Goodbye. Good night. So long. Farewell.